Hello, everybody, all my League Block agents. It is Nintendo Pow Block time. I'm your host, the Lights Excited Eddie B. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Yes.
Hi, Ed. How's it going? This your intro threw me off. I was very I don't know. It threw me for a loop. This is not how you normally answer or begin the show.
I know, cause Corey, it's our 400th episode of Nintendo Pow Block. This is a milestone for us, dude. Like, this is huge. We're literally close to the 500 mark in 100 more episodes. So what, 2.5 years or something?
I mean, probably if we did an episode every week for until then, right? Until 500. It would probably be the end of May of 2026. Well, yeah. Maybe June. Maybe the beginning of June 2026.
Can you think that our 500th episode dropped on Switch Successor 2 like 1 year anniversary or something? Like, and then to have that episode conversation, to be like, this is what we got and then some. Like, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We didn't, because we used to date the episodes and not number the episodes, so I'm not 100% sure when our 100th episode was. But yeah, I don't know, man. 400 episodes, it's a lot. It's too many. Gone through quite a bit of iteration since then, or since the beginning, I guess. That's one thing we're very good at being consistent at, is changing the show. Trying not to do that as much anymore. But, you know, I mean, things kind of changed when we started Boss Rush and kind of trying to figure out what went where and who went where and what was happening, right? And so I think we finally figured it out after 5 years of Boss Rush and 400 episodes of this show, but hopefully, knock on wood, I guess.
Yes, and many years on DNA, on Codename NX, and Nurse Gone Wrong.
Yeah, we've done a lot, and yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for 9 years almost now, so
yeah,
because there was that 2 or 3 month break where we tried to combine Arsenal X and Nintendo Pow Block at one point into the NX show, and it just wasn't. Obviously, that became the Boss Rush podcast, right? But yeah, you know, can't stay away from this for too long. So
yeah, we brought it back.
Yep.
In our thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy we did, and I'm happy it's in its current form, right? I mean, I'm happy where we're at with it. So I'm really excited. I mean, I think we've done a lot of good things. I think that we've done a lot of crazy things, great decisions, bad decisions, but overall, right? I mean, we wouldn't be here now without this show, and you know, the fan base that this show has accrued over the years, and I guess we're gonna keep going. It seems to be what people want, so we're just gonna keep doing it. I was thinking about, what I was thinking about, Ed, the other day. Well, not the other day, but really yesterday, I guess. I was sitting here making this list for the topic today, and I was like, man, what if we're still doing this at episode 1000? It's I mean, even the longest running podcasts are barely over 1,000 episodes right now, right? I mean, you look at something like Game Scoop, which is at 900 and something, I think, and IGN was kind of the first kind of foray into video game podcasting at that point, right? Because obviously Game Scoop is their most popular show, and Beyond was popular for a while, and but then you look at something like the Giant Bombcast, which is at 800 something episodes, and so it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
it's weird when it comes to like history with video game podcasts, because for me, it was the One Up show on OneUp.com, like the Ziff Davis stuff. And when I found out, this is when EGM was going with the magazine. Sorry about that, everybody. And One Up, they were doing articles in EGM and on One Up, and they started getting into the podcast. And their thing of podcast was just like, it was a news show, like 15 minutes, and then it started changing when they started getting people coming in from the magazine and having these hour discussions, and it was dropping every Friday. So they would do these pieces, do the news and talk about what they're playing and stuff. And it took a while for them to get their formula, and they also had the video production of the One Up show with some of the stories from EGM, and editors and everything. And it was just like, this was something that attracted me to podcasting and everything. And then it was just amazing on how I grew up in my 20s and part of my 30s watching the One Up show and listening to OneUp.com, to their podcast, and then Retronauts and all their other shows that was on it. And it was just like, podcasts at the time, people didn't understand that this was going to be the future of entertainment. And it's just really pretty much what radio talk shows were doing and stuff when you listening to it in your car, just without the commercials and stuff. It's just like, that was the form of podcast for a lot of people. So to go from that history to us, like,
I mean, I think podcasts are just like the complete evolution of like the internet mixed with, like you said, talk radio. And obviously like satellite radio was a big thing for a hot minute. And, I mean, podcasting is just the like Netflixification of talk radio, right? I mean, there's so many podcasts and so many choices out there now, right? And I mean, we're lucky to have been able to retain a listener base as long as we have, right? Because, I mean, I'm sure there's podcasts that you used to love that you don't listen to anymore, right? I mean, there's surely a bunch of podcasts that I don't listen to anymore that I used to love, but it's usually because, somebody leaves, or, the group that you like leaves a group and goes and starts something new. So you check out their stuff, or maybe it just changes so much that you just don't care. Right. But like,
right.
I mean, we've been lucky, we've been fortunate, and we've gone through some changes and changing back, and panelists and hosts, and I left for a while. I was hosting for a while. Like the total 180 there, but like, I don't know. I think overall the show is in a great place. I mean, aside from like the expansion pass thing that we had to figure out, but we figured it out, right? And here we are. And I obviously, like, I don't want to spend too much time on this because that's what expansion pass is going to be all about, this, right?
Yeah.
But, which is going to be free for everybody, until 401. So this is, I think it's important to kind of talk about the history of the show and kind of be proud of what we've done, not just with this show, but with Boss Rush in general. And, I mean, there were several times where I wanted to like just quit Boss Rush altogether and you and me just go do Nintendo stuff. But like, it's, but now like, I think everything is in such a great place, and we're doing some great things because of this dumb show kind of led us to do other things. Right. And now we're, going to PAX and reviewing games and, doing all these other things that we never thought would happen. I don't know. It's this show has done a lot of things for us, and I'm proud of us for this. I mean, I'm proud of everybody else too, that, obviously has somehow followed us on this journey. I don't know how you and I convinced so many people to follow us on this thing, but we did, and now they're stuck. And I mean,
we're thankful,
I'm proud of
grateful.
I was getting there. I'm thankful for everybody. So, but enough about that. We've got a lot of Nintendo to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Before we actually get into the household stuff, Corey, I don't know if I told you this.
Oh boy.
But Sunday, and this relates to me, everybody. So Sunday, I couldn't get out of my alley because this man who was under an influence, I would say, he crashed his Tahoe into somebody's metal fence, and it blocked the whole it blocked the alley for me to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And from what my mom told me, it was that the guy was just, he came down our alley, was kind of swerving, didn't know where he was going. Luckily he didn't hit anything until he hit the fence, and the police and stuff came. He looked like he was in his 20s. And I'm like, and I couldn't believe, and it literally happened when it was enough time for me to leave and try to get to work, but because it was blocked off, one of the policemen had to allow us to go the other way, because it's a big field by my house, for us to exit and get onto the street. But they had to sit him down. They had to give him a check. They asked him, did he know where he was at? I don't know what he told them or anything. I mean, the car was gone by the time I got home from work Sunday night. But the fence was like really messed up. It worried me to be like, man, this is sometimes like stuff like this scares me in my neighborhood, and I'm not trying to scare anybody listening to the podcast or anything. But it gets really worrisome when I see things like that. So I was just like, I'm like, I don't know what mind frame that person was in for that to happen. I don't know how long he was under the influence. I don't know how he even got into our alley. Like he's someone that wasn't from around here, and I was just like, man, if something would have happened to him and it was a real serious thing, I kind of would have been like, I'm going to just sit back. I probably would have called that place and be like, look, I can't come into work because something tragic happened, and it was really worrisome and everything. So I just had to tell you that, because I'm just like, man, that's something that's just something I hope never happens, or anything, because it was just really scary.
That's quite the the intro to this show. I feel like we've been all over the place already.
Well, yeah, it was, yeah. So, well, but let's get into the housekeeping. I'm so sorry for that, everybody. But yeah, just people, please be careful. Our listeners, please just be careful out on the roads this summer.
Yeah, be careful. There's a lot of crazy people out there, like us, who have been doing a podcast for 9 years.
Well, let's get into this housekeeping. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and other let's start that again. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and our other podcasts, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Subscribing to tiers on our Patreon can grant you perks like the new exclusive pre- and post shows, voting rights for Sportercast and Video Game Book Club, exclusive question threads for Spotlight Podcasts, early access to After Dark, and more. As always, though, your viewership and listenership is enough for us. Subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and like this video. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or even if you don't, leave us a rating and a nice review on those platforms. You can find all of our betas, features, listicles, reviews, and more on our website, bossrush.net.
Yep. That's where we're at.
Right. And Corey, we have some upcoming and some current content. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same stuff I plugged last week, but still, Secret Friends Unite co-op mode. I was on there. So you can go check that out. So what I'm trying to curate a playlist on our YouTube channel, Ed, of all of our guest appearances. And I've kind of gone back the last 2 years to kind of add those to the playlist. I'm trying to figure out if any of us have done anything in between, that time. But we have a playlist on our YouTube channel if you want to check out our guest appearances. So, I know you were on Single Player Experience at one point. We were both on Fun and Games, Side Quests. I was on Co-op Mode and Secret Friends at one point. So those are on there. Stephanie's on something in there.
I was on Co-op. I think the Devil Cox Experience have some videos. I gotta ask him.
Yeah. So I just I'm gonna try to get those curated in a playlist because I think it's important to not only promote our friends but also when we're part of something to put it out there. And I don't know. I think it's exciting to have our friends featured on our YouTube channel, especially when we're a part of it. So go check it out. Let's see. I also wrote the Destiny 2 Final Shape review, which is up there. You can go read it if you want. We have a spotlight with musician Aaron Grubb. Stephanie and I talked with him about his music career and, how, his Zelda music in particular became so popular. And he has an awesome rendition of the original Metroid theme song, Ed, that you should go listen to. It's amazing. It's so good.
Yes.
It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so good. So you can.
I was like that he even touched Metroid.
You should check it out. It's really cool. So yeah, that's up. You can go check that out on our spotlight. Yeah, I'll get to this in a second, but on our Boss Rush Plus podcast feed. So what I did was we had an open podcast feed that I've been throwing spotlights up on, but I haven't really been promoting it because spotlights have also been on the Boss Rush podcast feed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the feedback that we got, people don't like it when spotlight episodes replace normal episodes of the podcast, of the Boss Rush podcast, which is what we were trying to do to kind of like, save time and have our, have more time to do other things like live life and, do other podcasts and whatever. But people didn't like that. And I totally understand where they're coming from. So we turned that feed into something called Boss Rush Plus, which is an idea that I had a long time ago to do something with, but I never really knew what to do with the name. And so our spoiler casts and our interviews and all of our old Talk the Walk episodes are there. And any kind of extra conversations or anything that we have or do or bonus content is going to be on this feed. So Boss Rush Plus, it should pop up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and other podcast apps. So you can check that out. Very interested to see how that feed does. So, but yeah, all of our interviews are there already. I'm working on getting the rest of the book club episodes up there. And a lot of our older episodes for like Talk the Walk and 1v1s and all that kind of stuff are over there as well. So, old content, I guess. Classic content. It's not old, it's classic.
I told Shane, I'm like, we may have to do a Talk the Walk for the next Life is Strange game.
Yeah. I mean, I know people want that show back too. And I mean, it's all about time and who has the time to do it. And, Talk the Walk has kind of evolved into video game book club, but also we've talked about doing other spoiler casts and review discussions on other games besides just the ones for book club. So maybe that's something we consider bringing back, but I don't want to have too many. The problem with old Boss Rush stuff, right, was like we had too many similar shows with different names, right? Because at one point we had Spoiled, Book Club, and Talk the Walk. Those are all spoiler cast type discussions, right? We had 1v1, we had Boss Rush interviews, and we had spotlights. Those are all interview type shows, right? So I'm trying to make everything simpler. Simpler is better. And so I don't want to start bringing stuff back unless there's a real purpose for it. I understand Talk the Walk was really popular, and those episodes are still doing really good numbers for us, even years later. But at the end of the day, I don't want to like. I'm trying to simplify. I'm not trying to complicate more things, right? So, Talk the Walk does serve a very specific purpose, though, right? Because it's walking sims and cozy games.
Yeah.
So we can consider that. But yeah, I don't know. TBD on that. I know people want it back, though. I do know. We hear you, as developers say.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've read that over the past 10 years playing Destiny. We hear you. Jeez.
You hear it, and then you see it in the tweets. Be like, yeah, because I know like Coffee Talk 2 and the Life is Strange gang. It's like two ones for Talk the Walk, and Coffee Talk 2 is mostly to follow up the Coffee Talk discussion that we had. And of course, since we did the other 3 Life is Strange games, that would be like the 4th one.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is that it has to be consistent, and that is something that we've struggled with in some areas, is being consistent. So like, even if it's once a month, we have to do it once a month, right? And the inconsistency is what kills the show. And so that's something that I want to avoid as well, is the inconsistency of releases. But again, that's something we can talk about off air or at a meeting or whatever, right?
Yeah. So. Well, Corey, it's time for Snacktendo, and I actually have a short Snacktendo.
I don't have any Snacktendo because it's a Friday and we recorded last weekend, and so never mind. Go ahead. Sorry, just go.
Well, for me, I got some Jack Daniel's honey barbecue sauce, and I decided to finally try it out, and I got some chicken nuggets from McDonald's, to get a taste for it. I would actually say it's probably better than McDonald's barbecue sauce. Like, it's really good. I'm like, wow. Ooh, because I never had the honey barbecue sauce when I was at Fridays. Because Jack Daniel's, they did a lot of Jack Daniel's stuff at Fridays, CGI Fridays. And so getting this honey barbecue sauce, I'm like, oh, this would go really good with their chicken nuggets. I haven't tried Wendy's and I haven't tried Burger King. I'm just letting everybody know that. But it is a really good sauce for anything that's fried, chicken wise, like meat wise. Just really good. A nice barbecue taste, and the honey, like the sweetness of the honey, really makes it good. I'm like, it's such a good balance. I haven't tried it on barbecue hot dogs, like when people are grilling and stuff like that. I haven't tried it on that. Just tried it on the chicken nuggets to get the taste of it. And it's an A+ for me.
A+, he says.
Yes. So yeah, that's pretty much my only snack Tendo. And shout out to Aldi's. Uh, I went to Aldi's today to get some food and everything. Shout out to them. Like, there's something comforting when you walked in the door and you just it just feels like welcoming every time I go into Aldi's. It's not too busy, great prices. Cause somebody put like, I have a family of 6, and this is what happens when I shop at Trader Joe's a month, $444. I'm like, shoot, I wouldn't even get to that much. I don't even get to that much at Aldi's. I'm like, you got $444. That's about 9 months worth of groceries.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, because I'm like, yeah, just shout out to them. I seen some pizzas and everything. There were some things that they don't have anymore that that I just haven't seen that I remember they used to have. I'm like, this is different. Like, I thought they had more pizza choices, like the Mama Cozy pizzas. I thought they had more choices, and they didn't have that many. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, that's only the and the last thing that I snacked on. I tried the McDonald's Grandma McFlurry. It's okay.
The Grandma McFlurry.
Yeah, it's caramel McFlurry with butterscotch pieces in it.
If you say so.
It's okay. It's nothing to scream home about. I'm like, I mean, it's good. I like it when they put their caramel with their ice cream, but like the butterscotch pieces, take it or leave it.
Sounds great.
Yes.
And by great, I mean pass.
Oh wow. Well, Corey, it's time for Playing with Power.
What about my snack Tendo?
Do you have a snack Tendo?
Yeah,
you didn't have anything.
I did, but then I said I forgot. I do, and then I said you go.
Oh, well, everybody,
it's fine. It's fine.
No, Corey, talk about your snack.
I mean, it wasn't really a snack. We just had grilled burgers and stuff yesterday, and it was really good.
Yes.
You know what's really good though is like, I really like mayonnaise and spicy brown mustard on my hamburgers. And throw some onions on there. Perfect.
Me and the person were actually talking about there's something about mayonnaise and mustard together. I know you like yours spicy with the brown mustard, which is great. And I'm telling them, I'm just like, definitely, I'm like, well, that is like kind of the main ingredients, like for a tuna salad or like a tuna fish sandwich for those with that and everything. It does make sense with the brown mustard and mayonnaise on a burger and everything.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Like I don't really like this is gonna sound weird, but I don't really like red meat unless I cook it myself, because I never I like it a very specific way, and if it's not that way, then I don't know. Also, like, red meat kind of makes me sick sometimes anyway, because I don't eat it all that often, and so my body somehow doesn't have a tolerance for it. I know that sounds really weird, but I just avoid it because of that. And of course, I kind of got sick last night, but that's okay. But not like sick, but like I feel like crap. But yeah, also, you know what's really good? Just some chips and some French onion dip. Just plain chips and French onion dip. You know,
yeah,
that's it. Or like the chip ranch dip too. Like, just good. You know, just classic chips and dip. Really like it.
Who has the ranch with the dill pickle like flavor in it?
I don't know. I don't like pickles, so I don't know.
Well, I won't say dill pickle. It's like the dill, like the little strings, stuff that they put in ranch. Someone has a good ranch dip. that you dip it in. But French onion is really good. Definitely. I don't know which kind of dip you get. I know the Lay's is really good. I really like their dip.
Yeah, they're pretty good. So, but then we also had cupcakes, which I'm always a fan of a cupcake. So
my job, we got cupcakes, and all the vanilla ones are almost gone. No one barely touches the chocolate, so I'm the only one like touches the chocolate ones. So
nice.
Corey.
Yeah.
What have you been playing with Power?
Well, we need it. We need the intro. Are you all right? Okay. Are you feeling okay, Ed?
Well,
too much excitement for you? What's going on?
No, I did the intro, but you said
I know, but we had to back up, so now we need to do the intro. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
Well, everybody, now it's time for Playing with Power.
Great start.
Corey, what have you been playing with? In other words, our normal nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, man.
What have you been playing with Power?
So I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2, The Final Shape. Echoes Act 1 is over. I have a lot of interesting feelings about it. I think I'm going to make a video about it, actually. Not a podcast, but like an actual video about it.
I think I only did one mission for it and then haven't did any more.
So the big thing with episodes is that they promised that they would be a different delivery style than seasons, right? And they were going to do different things, and it was going to allow them to be more flexible and agile, all that kind of stuff. Well, so far, Echoes Episode 1 Echoes Act 1 has been identical to how they deliver seasons, except it's much shorter. It was 3 weeks instead of 7 or 8. So the thing is like, I think the story is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fascinating where they're going and how, because the Vex have kind of been a boring race throughout Destiny's kind of history, and they're actually doing something really interesting and cool with them now. But also what they're doing with the Vex and how they're kind of twisting their story is also affecting some exo characters, like the robot guardian characters. And so that's been really interesting to see unfold. And I wonder how it's going to affect certain characters moving forward. Like right now, the story kind of revolves around Saint 14, who's an Exo Titan, and he's having all kinds of strange things happening with him and his memories and his being. Also, we finally learned about the character that's in the key art that we didn't really know who it was, but is seemingly controlling this rogue kind of faction of the Vex called the Conductor. Mm-hmm. And I'm really interested and intrigued to see what they do with that character in this second act, because I think the dungeon is going to revolve around this character. I think the dungeon's going to drop in Act 3, though, if I'm going to be honest with myself. It just seems like you might want to drop that dungeon to get people back in before you drop your big anniversary thing in September. So you drop a dungeon at the beginning of August to get people engaged in the game again, and have your anniversary thing in September and October. But enough about that. I'm enjoying it. I've been playing a lot of Iron Banner this week, actually, which is the multiplayer, like the competitive multiplayer suite, just because I think the armor, there he goes again. Man,
go ahead.
We're hitting all the all the hot things today. Because I like the Titan armor that they have out for once, and I haven't gotten a single piece, and I'm almost done with the entire run of the mission, like the quest line that they give you. So that's a little disappointing, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep playing and keep going and see what happens. But I've also continued my way through Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, and man, let me tell you, Ed, game design has evolved a lot in the last 20 years.
That sounds so shady.
I mean, here's the thing. I never played the original, so I don't really have any nostalgia for this. But if this is the best Paper Mario game in people's opinion, I'm just going to say the standards aren't high. It's fine. It's good. Like, it's good, right? But, like, it just feels old. And I get it. It is old, right? I mean, it's a GameCube game. But it just, there's way too much backtracking. There's a lot of talking. And, like, granted, I know it's a Nintendo game, but what makes the talking worse is that you have to read it all. They're not talking. It's just words on the screen, so you kind of have to read it all. And it's just it's kind of a nuisance to play. Like, the actual gameplay is fun, but there's just a lot of lulls in between, and then the backtracking is very, very, very that era of like, hey,
RPGs.
I'm a quest giver. Go back to this area and get me this thing and come back to me. And then I'm going to send you right back to do the next thing. And it's just like, man, just give me all these quests at once so I can go do all the things and then turn them all in at the same time. But again, I get it. It's an older game. People like it. It's not bad. It just feels antiquated. So I don't know how far I am. To be honest, I don't know how much I have left.
What chapter are you in?
I'm on chapter like 3, I think.
Oh, then you're like
4,
halfway through the game.
3. But Ed,
I think.
Hey, what? You think what? What?
Because you're not in the sky yet for the resting thing.
No, I'm not in the sky. But Ed.
Yes.
I've been playing Elden Ring.
Okay.
Not because I like really want to play it. It's more of a every time like the term Souls game comes up, or Bloodborne, or one of these games comes up. And obviously Shadow of the Erdtree is out and people are really into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, why are these games so addicting to people? Because obviously Elden Ring isn't some slouch of a game. I mean, it sold 25 million copies and 6 million people have purchased the DLC, right? So it's not like, it's not like this game is some slouch of a game. So I'm like playing it, and I'm like, it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild, like in a lot of ways. There's really no direction to go. Now, it's the combat, like, it's a lot more difficult than Breath of the Wild, right?
Yes.
But I'm making my way through the world, and there are secrets everywhere, right? There are hidden things everywhere. I walked to the left when I was supposed to go right, and I found this like hidden catacomb, and I went down in it, and there was a lot of enemies that I probably shouldn't have been fighting, but I was fighting them anyway. And I ended up unlocking like a summon, like a cool summon. I found a summon down there that I could, use. But then, like, you can't use the summon until you talk to the witch that's kind of in the beginning area, and she gives you the bell to summon the summons, right? And so I'm just kind of like exploring and taking my time and trying to like really understand how the game functions as a video game, right? Because like obviously like Dark Souls kind of feels more of a Metroidvania-ish game, right? Where like the world is super interconnected and you unlock shortcuts and you kind of backtrack once you like unlock certain shortcuts to progress, and the bosses kind of give you like allow you to progress to new areas, and you don't need, but there's a Mega Man element to it too, right? Where like certain items help you fight other bosses and make them easier. And so I've just kind of like, I'm trying to figure out what makes this game tick for people. And I understand what makes this game tick for people. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to keep playing it. Because there's like 4 other games I'm supposed to be playing right now for other projects, but also like I need to figure out. Obviously, this game, if you are not like the person who wants to go in blind, there's a lot of research that goes into this, right? Oh well, I want a ranged magic build, so how do I build my character this way? Or I want to be like a really slow, heavy, brooding character, so how do I approach that way? And where's the armor sets, or the gauntlets or whatever that enhances my magic abilities or my ranged abilities? And so there's all these things, and like the reason why I started playing this too is because I was listening to Shadow of the Erdtree spoiler cast from one of the groups of podcasters that I enjoy listening to, not because I was like interested in Shadow of the Erdtree, but because I just like listening to them talk. And the way they were talking about it really reminded me a lot of Breath of the Wild, but also the like Shadow of the Erdtree sounds a lot like Tears of the Kingdom, because like it has that, there's like this whole underground section of Shadow of the Erdtree, where like, how do you get down there? What's down there? How do you explore it? How, like, does this interconnect with this? And there's all these secrets down there, and it kind of like, Elden Ring has a lot of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom elements in it. And if you don't have if you don't have a Switch while you're listening to the show, at this point, but like, this has a lot of those elements to it, and it's intriguing to kind of figure it all out. And I beat the original Dark Souls. I've played some of 3. I beat Bloodborne, so like I know the mechanics, right? And the modern Assassin's Creed games play like this too, right? Like the shoulder buttons are the attack buttons, and the dodge button is the B button, and that kind of stuff. Like a lot of games have kind of mapped their control schemes to be similar to these, right? God of War did it too. I think Horizon does it. So the mechanics aren't the problem for me. It's just like trying to figure out how this world works and the way it ticks, and the exploration. And I'm not one of these people who are like rah-rahing for this game to be easier, right? I like that there's a series out there that says you need to be good or you need to figure it out. Very NES that way, right? I mean, nobody clamored to make Mega Man easier because you went to the wrong robot master first, right? So I'm enjoying the experience. The world itself is beautiful. The character models are there's a lot to be desired with the character models in particular. Mm-hmm. But the world is beautiful. I think the like, just like you walk out into this opening area, like the opening, like you die like almost instantly, because it's designed that way, right? I don't know if anybody's ever beaten that first. I mean, I'm sure somebody has, right? I'm sure somebody has figured it out. But the game is designed to kill you right when you walk out of the catacombs that you are resurrected in, right? But that walkout moment you have the second time is very Breath of the Wild. right? You walk out onto this cliff and you see, there's a valley over here. You see I'm assuming is the Erd tree, the golden tree, kind of off to the right, and off to the left you see like this hilly wooded area that I think you're supposed to go because of that's kind of where like the I think they're called the what are they called? The Grace, something of Grace, which is the bonfire equivalent in this game. They have these little golden swirls that kind of lead you in the direction you're supposed to go, which is cool. There's a fast travel system in this game that is very useful. There's maps that are very useful. They point out really interesting things. Like, you can tell there are interesting things on the map. They don't specifically say there's an interesting thing over here, but like one of the map, like the opening map, there's like there's a telescope on the map that's just like, oh, well, am I supposed to go look there? Like, am I supposed to go like because you can buy a small telescope and use it to like see things in the distance. It's very interesting. I will give it that. I tried to, but I also went in the game. I'm like, if I'm going to play this game, I'm going to pretend it's another game and use a character from another game to play this, right? And so at first I tried to design Midna from Twilight Princess, like the final form of Midna and Twilight Princess, and I followed a guide online that looked okay, but then I was like, I don't really like this. This is weird. So I'm making a new character and kind of starting over, but I remember everything that I've already done. Plus, I want to choose a different class because you need to be stronger at the beginning.
Yeah.
If you want to, whatever, you need to be a little bit stronger at the beginning to make your way through. And so I'm going to pick a different class, but I am also going to try to design a different character and kind of figure it out. So here's the thing. I don't know if I'm enjoying it, but I can't stop thinking about going back to play it. If that makes sense. So
it's an intriguing game.
It's intriguing, and I'm not the Souls person. I actually just kind of like, I liked Bloodborne. Dark Souls 1 was okay, right? I played it on the Switch and I beat it, but it was like kind of a slog. So I'm not like the Souls person, but this is intriguing. This game is very, there's something to this, and I understand why so many people have bought the game and have continued to play it over the course of the last 2 years. But that said, Ed, I've also been playing Tetris.
Yes.
Do you need me to explain Tetris the way I just explained Elden Ring?
Well, it actually depends on which version of Tetris have you been playing.
I'm playing Tetris Effect Connected. Which obviously, like, I have
bangers of music in that game.
So here's the thing, Ed. I have those LED lights on my TV that change colors depending on what's happening on the screen.
Yeah.
And I have the sound bar. And so the other day I was home alone by myself for a little bit, and I turned on Tetris Effect Connected, and I turned all the lights out, and I turned on the LED lights.
Mm-hmm.
And playing Tetris Effect Connected with the sound bar up at like 20 and the LED lights matching the colors on the TV, I felt like I was in a different world. It was nuts. The only thing
good. Well, the thing about it before you go is that you get these like low tempo house deep cuts that they created, and then sometimes you'll get like chanting or something like almost like a religious experience, but it's still like danceable, jazzy and funk. And then there's sometimes it's just like the more that you play, the more you get to your 20 lines, it becomes out as a banger. And I'm just talking about more of the story campaign in this game. Like, I don't know how Mizuguchi and the team were able to just, how do you mix Tetris and these bomb tracks together that because I don't know if it has a like a BGM, like how you go to the options and you could just listen to the music and stuff. I don't know if they have it in Tetris Effect. But there's just like some levels. Oh, go ahead.
There's like somebody has put all the music, and all the music is on YouTube somewhere.
Okay. Because I just
I'm not sure where it's at.
Because sometimes I'd be like, I want to go back to this level, and I don't care if I beat it or not. But I'm like, I just want to hear this track again. And it's definitely a game you just zone out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could understand why you feel like you in another world. Definitely with the license stuff, that heightens the effect and the immersion that you feel for the game.
Yeah. It's like I said, there's Tetris Effect is a special game. And so I was remember the Tetris blocks at limited run release a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Man, I was kind of looking at those because I think they're so cool, but they're just, I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. So I don't know. Ed, what are you playing? That's all I've been playing.
So I finished Destiny, the final shape. I got the ending, beautiful ending. After I had server connections, don't know why, but it happened. I actually had to restart that fight 3 times because of the server connections.
Yeah,
and everything.
Xbox. It was an Xbox Live issue. It wasn't a Destiny issue. This happened within the last week.
The last week and a half, yeah. It has.
It's because Xbox Live has been really messed up recently.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but
because it was just like I was able to watch YouTube, and if I would play any other game online, I didn't have any connection problems. It was just only Destiny. Like even when I started the final shape, I was having problems with it. It was just like I'll be in a level and be like server connection problem dropped. And so it had gotten so bad for me. Like I didn't even start the game 5 minutes. Like I would be in the hub world in the what is it, Palo World? Like I would be in there, the Pale Heart. And I would start a mission, get in the mission just for 5 minutes, dropped, connect the issue while I'm in the middle of a fight. And I'm like, I'm not about to do this. This is the third time that it's done, third or fourth time that's done it. And so I would just cut it off and just like, I'll wait till the servers get back and started playing something else. But I did finally finish it. I played the first part of Echoes. Because I think you're the Fairlight. I think that's it.
Feel safe.
Fail safe. That's it. Not Fairlight. Goodness. Fail safe. Fail safe been funny.
Failsafe is great. Failsafe was one of the best characters in the Red War campaign, and then they never did anything with her. And I'm so glad she's back. I hope Failsafe becomes the AI of the Helm from now on.
But can I tell you? And I know you don't like the Portal games, but it has a Portal 2 kind of feel to it because of the voice acting. Because I like how the happy one is just like, well. Yay! Like when she got her powers, she had downloaded her stuff. She's like, "Well, this is my downloaded enjoyment."
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think this voice actress has a voice in Portal or one of the Half-Life games or something. So she's connected to that universe. I think I might be mistaken totally, but.
It kind of reminds me of me and you in a sense where you're like the deep voice one who's just like serious and everything, and I'm like the high fish lady who's like a little bit joyful and stuff. I'm just like, and the writing is so good with her with Failsafe. It's just it's so balanced that I enjoy it so much. Yeah, so I did the mission where like you get to download her, like save her and stuff. It's like the first mission and everything. I went back, but I didn't see what the mission quest was. I seen the cutscene, um that happened, and I thought I was supposed to go back to the planet and do more stuff, but it didn't show me anything what I need to do. So I got to find out what's the next part of Echoes that I need to do.
Yeah, I mean, it should all be in your quest log. So,
Okay.
you should just track the quests, and I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because it was just I thought that another quest would pop up automatically on the planet and it'd be like, okay, this is your next mission.
Oh no,
Go ahead and go.
it's all on the helm. You have to go back to the helm for all of your missions for some reason. That's like one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest complaints right now with it.
That's so weird. I always wonder about that. Why Destiny didn't make a lot of that stuff linear and everything. Why do you got to check the quest thing to find out what you need to do next? I'm just like, I'm in the main campaign. Just do mission after mission after mission. I'm fine go because that was kind of my problem with the first Destiny is that I would do the mission, go back to the tower, gotta go back to that planet, go back to the tower, gotta go back to that planet, and it was just like this is too long. This is too much loading. So I like just streamline this if I'm doing the campaign.
Yeah, that was one of the big issues this past or the last act in particular, because there's literally this mission where you have to go to the helm to return. Like they tell you to come back to the helm, right?
Yeah.
And then like when you get back to the helm, they say you need to go back to Nessus to do this, and it's like, well, why did I come back here? You couldn't have just put this on some sort of intercom, like, you know?
Right, and I understand going back for that cutscene for all of that to like install the failsafe. I understand that, but then now just drop me back into the Nessus, give me the mission. If I'm still on the planet, continue giving me those missions. It's so weird and everything. But yeah, that's Destiny, everybody. So I'm still playing it here and there. I know you told me about the gunsmith, and I'm just like, where in the heck is this gunsmith? Because the thing about, I think that was another problem with it, is that it when you hit the the double screen button, I don't know what to call it, and it brings up the map. It normally it has the size of everybody, like the important people and places that you go to, and the gunsmith is not on there.
He is
and everything.
He's on there.
So I was looking around there and it doesn't have him on there at all.
He's on there.
I went to move my circle.
In the tower. He's in the tower.
He's in the tower, but he's not on the map.
Yes, he is.
I did not see it.
Well, you're not looking hard enough.
What are you talking about? I literally go in and it shows you all the places that you go.
He's right.
His name is not on there.
It's
even though he's right there.
His name is Banshee. His name is Banshee 44,
and it's not his name is not on that map.
It is. He's right next to the Cryptarch on the right. I'm telling you,
right? But if you go into where the flat map is laid at, so you can see the whole thing, his name is not on there at all. I'm just saying that's me. So that's Destiny in there, buddy.
Oh man.
So, but I also got into Dragon Age Inquisition. I've been having fun with that. I
saw that.
Yeah, so I thought I had I think I got the physical for the Xbox One, but I bought the digital version because it was like only $3, and then they had all the DLC for like $4, like really cheap and everything. So since I already had it digitally, because I had bought it cheap, I decided to get all the DLC stuff. Because I have it on PS3, I think. And I probably have it on PS4. And it was just a game that I started and just never finished. And since Dragon Age Veilguard is coming soon, which looks amazing, I decided to get into Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm not trying to say Dragon Quest, but Dragon Age. And I'm a Corey who is like this big muscular
shocker.
goat ear kind of mage. For of course, I had to make him muscular and everything. But he was already that when he was already that built when I picked him. And I really was just going for a mage and everything because I'm like I don't really want to do physical combat and everything. I do a lot of that in a lot of JRPGs and stuff. So this one I wanted to do that. I'm still learning some systems. I'm still trying to work my way through it and everything, but the story is getting interesting. It is a lot of quest fetching, like side quests to help you get your characters better and everything. But I'm definitely enjoying it. I want to finish it before Velgard uh comes out. I haven't played Dragon Age 2, and I haven't played Dragon Age Origins, even though I own them. So and this is BioWare, so it has that BioWare look to it. And I think I wasn't into the Dragon Age series, but I was into the Mass Effect series, and I think it was a lot of it because of the systems and stuff. Those two games really feel different. So I'm just like, I don't know how to build this. I think it's just I'm thinking I'm using my old Square Enix idea of a role playing game for this on how to build my character and everything. Like I'm not into the crafting stuff or like I just really want to go to a shop, buy the most powerful and expensive armor and weapons and go about my battle, but it just doesn't seem to be that way. So I'm making my way through it. I think I'm halfway through the game. I learned of this new enemy, and I got like a new power, so I'm just making my way through the world for it. But I am enjoying it. I am putting a lot of time into it because I do want to finish it. um and I kind of want to be able to talk. Some people are back into playing it. They started it back up, and I kind of want to end up talking to them about this game because I'm like, I really, if Velgard fixes a lot of things and stuff, I cannot wait to play that and talk to people about it. But that's pretty much it. I did play Streets of Rage 4 on Switch, and I started up Persona 3 portable on Switch, so I can't wait to get back into those games. I will return back to Luna Nights and finish that up. But there's just like a lot of Xbox stuff that I'm trying to get done before I definitely hit on my Switch stuff. Yeah, because I'm going to PAX West this year with the Boss Rush crew. Yay! I'm so
You are.
excited. Yes, and I'm going to find a game on my Switch to like play on the airplane and get through and everything. Because when I went to PAX East, when I was on the airplane, I was playing Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, and everything. And just like, oh man, I remember playing this game when it came out. So, but I'm just like, I got a lot of stuff on my Switch digitally that I just haven't played, haven't started, or just haven't finished. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna spend some time um working on them and everything. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, but that's pretty much what I have been playing, everybody. Well, Corey, I would like to say family news, but we don't really have any this week.
Yeah, so we are doing something a little bit different this week, mostly because there's not really a lot of news, but also this is episode 400, and we wanted to look back at the last 8 years of the Switch or so, because Ed and I, when we started this, obviously the Switch launch was integral to the beginning of this podcast, or like the first 25 episodes or so. Because we did the whole top 25 Wii U games, and I still think we need to do that for Switch at some point. Once the next console is out, we'll revisit that idea, because I think the Switch will be pretty done at that point, or a lot of those games will be cross-platform or whatever they're deciding to do, right? So
yes,
we're gonna we've made a list of Nintendo's first party output since the Switch launched. This also includes 3DS games for the first couple years. What we did was kind of made a calendar from 2017 through 2025. And we're going to kind of go through Nintendo's first party output for the Switch and notable, 3DS releases as well. What a crazy list this was. I mean, you go through this list and I know the Switch has had a lot of games, but this entire list we're going through is either Nintendo first party or second party collaborations.
And to my everybody, throughout this list, most of these games pass 1 million sales. That's the most insane part of the majority of this whole list.
You got to get off this million sales thing. This is.
I know. I know.
It's not 1994 anymore.
True, I know, but that's crazy on having a first party list that's this huge and has that incentive towards them when it comes to these games. And I'm not trying to knock any other. I'm not trying to knock the competitors. I'm not trying to talk about anybody else's game. But I'm with a strong first party list to have over 1 million sales for a lot of their first party library, that's impressive. Just impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's go through this. We're going to start at 2017, and we're just going to kind of run down the games here and kind of comment as we go throughout the years. So Nintendo's launch day lineup was pretty strong in terms of first party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Launch day, so March 3rd, 2017, was 1-2 Switch, which, haha, yeah, let's all make fun of it. But let me tell you, it sold 5 million units, so Nintendo's laughing with your money all the way to the bank.
Exactly.
Breath of the Wild, obviously a cross-gen game, but it's so attached to that Switch launch day, right?
It was the reason people bought a Switch, really.
Yeah. And Snipper Clips, which I think was the real hidden gem of the launch day lineup from Nintendo, right? I mean, obviously you had Super Bomberman, which, that was a whatever. But Snipper Clips, I think, was that should have been the pack-in game almost to show how the Joy-Cons function. It is the perfect game to show how the Joy-Cons function, how, you can kind of turn them sideways and up to 4 players. Snipper Clips is a gem of a game. And then they released it the physical edition, November or December, somewhere in there with the DLC, right? It was $20. The DLC was $10. It was that I mean, yeah, obviously Breath of the Wild was the best game out of that lineup, but Snipper Clips, man, not the worst game that came out that year. Just gonna put it that way. It's amazing.
A lot of people who talked about it saying how much fun they had, with their partner or with guests. It's such an enjoyable game, and the last people had with that game, that's what making it is that Snipper Clips make you feel good, with your friends and family and stuff. It was just a great game to play all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Snipper Clips is great. I think if you haven't played it and you're looking for something to play a couch co-op specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, Snipper Clips is the perfect game for that. So check out Snipper Clips. Really cool launch game. I wish more people played it. But apparently it did pretty well because that studio is about to put out their 4th game since Snipper Clips came out. So good for them. In April, we had the re-release of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and the big selling feature here was it came with all the previous DLC from the Wii U game, but also the new battle mode. I think a lot of people forget that the battle mode in the Wii U version was really bad.
Yeah.
Almost non-existent, some would say.
And I wouldn't count Breath of the Wild, but this was the first port that Nintendo did for the Switch. Like it was their like kind of first party first port game.
Yeah, I mean, this is when we like you look at this lineup, right? And you kind of look at the lineup and you think you know, we're going to get into this when we get to listener questions and topics and whatever, but like you know, you look at a lot of these games and a lot of them were either ports like, you know, or cross gen like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Pokken Tournament DX in September, or just straight up delayed off of the Wii U to put on the Switch, right? I mean, Mario Odyssey was supposed to be the Wii U 3D Mario game, right? And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was supposed to be the Xenoblade Chronicles game on the Wii U, right? Because X was the spin-off game. And so, you know, those were, you know, Nintendo never confirmed it, but everybody else kind of confirmed it. Like, you know, if you go look for articles, and Eurogamer did a good job of digging some of this stuff up. Mario Odyssey is like the one that you should circle and be like, that was the Wii U game. That was the Wii U 3D Mario game that we never got. Right? I mean, we got 3D World, which is great, but that's not the 3D Mario game people wanted. But yeah, Mario Kart 8, the battle mode and the DLC was awesome. And then May, right? We didn't get a first party game for Switch, but they kind of positioned that weird Street Fighter HD thing. What was it? Ultra Street Fighter to the final challengers or whatever. With like Dark Ken and Dark Ryu or whatever. But we did get Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia for 3DS in May. So Nintendo still had some firepower for the 3DS in May.
I made sure that I got that game when it came out. Like day one, I'm like, let me just get this because it's gonna be hard to find.
Yeah, I also think that's when Shovel Knight, the digital version at least, got ported over. Was May. And that was also the release of Spectre of Torment, which is the best of the 3 expansions in my opinion. So that was also a pretty big release. And then, you know, you had stuff like Binding of Isaac also came out then. And, you know, I think that's when people really started looking at Switch and being like, oh, shoot, you know, we could really put some stuff on here and make some money, right? That's when indies really started flooding, was like May, June, July. You know, we had weird things like Snake Pass, and remember Snake Pass, and like, what were some of the other ones? There's some really strange.
Was that Shift one?
Oh, Mr. Shifty, yeah.
Mr. Shifty.
That game was awesome. Yeah, there was a lot of games, right?
And then like Square did some of like their smaller games and stuff like Oninaki,
I Am
Setsuna, yeah.
And they announced, and Lost Sphere didn't come out at the same time, but they announced Lost Sphere was coming to Switch soon-ish around that time.
And that's kind of a weird history that I gotta research on how Square put out these small RPGs and then the 2D HD style games start coming out. And that became a big thing. Like this is the change in Square on Nintendo. And they started seeing, this is like when they really started seeing the money like roll in. They started seeing good stuff with the 3DS because it was like a little bit experimental. But when they started doing all of this stuff, Square was getting a lot of good results on Switch.
Yeah. So that was I mean, and then you know, heading into summer and that Nintendo Direct, which just kind of blew everybody away, right? Like, you know, we had ARMS come out in June, Splatoon in July, right? But like in between there, we had the Direct that announced Xenoblade and Mario Odyssey and Mario plus Rabbids. Remember how big of a deal Mario plus Rabbids was and how everybody made fun of it, and like it ended up being one of the best games that year.
It literally at E3, it took almost literally game of E3 because people couldn't stop talking about it. Even though, it was an emotional moment when Miyamoto came on stage, and you know, you seen the director crying, just like thank him. But then you started seeing other people from developers. You see the creators of XCOM, what this game is kind of using that system, you even see him giving it praise. It was just like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle was big that E3. People laughed at it and then saw it and was just like, oh, I need to play that. And people who was at E3 did get a chance to play, came away blown.
Yeah. It was definitely a really great direct, and it was, some would argue, it might not be the most surprising direct that year, because later, we'll get to that later, but it was it was interesting. And so July we had Splatoon 2, August we had Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which was awesome. I really loved that first game. The second one didn't really grab me as much. I wish it did, but it just really didn't. Also, the Donkey Kong DLC is worth noting for Mario plus Rabbids, was incredible.
Yes.
September we got Pokken Tournament DX, but we also got Metroid Samus Returns for 3DS that month, which was awesome.
Man, that E3 when that came on, that was
we were in the middle. We were in the middle of our direct recap show, and we had to stop, or we were doing it live at that point, I think. Still, and we had Treehouse on after our direct watch along, I think.
Yes,
and we had it on the background, and we saw Metroid, and we were like, that video still exists somewhere. I think it's on the Nerds Gone Rogue YouTube channel, probably.
Because Reggie Fils-Aimé, he introduced it. He was just like, we got a special announcement that wasn't in the direct that we want to, and we're just talking, and we're just like, oh, what's this? Okay, that's Metroid. And when all of that happened, and it was just like, wait a minute, Samus Returns. I didn't even know it was Metroid 2. And when we seen it, we were just like, wait, what? Live. Insane.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I couldn't believe how much life the 3DS still had it in it after this, right? I mean, they were selling games through 2020, it looks like,
Yeah. The 3DS was I think beating out the Series X in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, that's another story. October we had Fire Emblem Warriors and Super Mario Odyssey. Obviously, Odyssey was a huge deal. Everybody loved that game. I mean, it was battling Breath of the Wild essentially for Game of the Year.
Yep.
And then in December we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which was a sequel we never thought we were going to get, right? And then we ended up getting 2 and Torna, and the following year, right? The kind of epilogue. I would say DLC, but it's a 40-hour game, so it's
it is its own game in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, they made a physical for it, and it's really hard to find if you don't have it. So,
I copped that mug. I seen that mug at Target, and I copped it quickly. I think my Target might still have one.
Yeah. It's crazy that we got that, and that was the December game, and that doesn't include all of the third-party stuff that was announced or came out, right? So, before we get there, the notable 3DS games of 2017, mind you. So that was Nintendo Switch's output. That was Nintendo's output for Switch that we just went through. The notable 3DS games: Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario Sports Superstars, Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia, Ever Oasis, which I forgot came out, Hey Pikmin, Metroid Samus Returns, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. I think that was the January game that year.
Yeah.
Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out in November. And Mario Party Top 100 also came out in November that year. And then they had their first kind of downloadable kind of, they did a lot of weird stuff on the 3DS with downloadable stuff like Pushmo and Dylan's Rolling Western and those types of things, right? Like this, they released their first one here in Flip Wars, which was like that co-op kind of color-coded kind of reminds me of the button puzzles in Mario 3D World where you have to turn all the buttons green, right?
Yeah.
Without stepping on the other ones. So that's kind of what it reminds me of, but like a 4-player version of that competitive thing. It was interesting. But that doesn't include that direct we got in November that had, or what, September we had.
Yeah, that's September.
So that year we got Doom and the Elder Scrolls right in November for Switch. And then they announced Wolfenstein 2 was coming. Which that video is one of the most infamous videos of Pow Block, I think. And like that's when third-party players really started paying attention. Like obviously we got the sports games like FIFA and NBA 2K.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting like PGA stuff later, right? But
yeah, I mean that September direct, I think that's when Bethesda start realizing the potential of Nintendo support.
Well, that's I mean, sure, but Skyrim was shown in the Switch.
Skyrim was shown, yeah, it was shown, yeah, but everybody got to remember that Bethesda never supported Nintendo throughout a whole bunch of years until the Nintendo Switch. So I think the good sales of Skyrim was good, and then when Bethesda continued that support, I mean, and this is when the port stuff started coming, because goodness, what is the name of the company that ported it?
Panic Button.
When they started porting the Bethesda stuff, Panic Button themselves became like big name, came like very interesting. So, of course we got Doom 2 and everything. But when that Doom dropped, people didn't expect that at all, because they were just like, people thought that they would just get Skyrim and Bethesda would go about their business doing other stuff. But that's just like, no, we're going to support Nintendo with our games, and they seen the results with it. They seen the sales. I keep bringing sales up because that's the way that a lot of these third parties were going to support Nintendo. They wanted to see sales numbers, and they saw them. And this is before Microsoft even brought them. Bethesda was like was a top tier name before Microsoft brought them. So it seemed to be like Panic Button and Bethesda had a really great relationship, and we could have got some of their older games on Switch, and they would have did amazingly well with the sale numbers. Like Wolfenstein, and yes, a lot of their games did come with a digital code, but people were willing to support them. Why do you think that later on a lot of the old Doom games started hitting Nintendo and everything like that? It was insane on how a lot of those old stuff was hitting Nintendo, like Doom 64 and the Super Nintendo Doom and all of this stuff, or PC Doom and everything. Like that was a very big deal, and this was going to be like, okay, Nintendo and Bethesda could have a good relationship in the future because of the good nature of sales. And I'm like, hey. And I think that's when we started doing like, man, Bethesda doing something like Perfect Dark, or doing something, taking a Nintendo property and everything. We was even talking about, I think we had a conversation or a hypothetical conversation, but like Bethesda and Metroid, maybe like that would be something interesting, or some of the old first person shooters that Nintendo probably had that people just don't remember. I keep talking about Geist, but I'm like, that might be something that Bethesda could take and really make it their own, and they would probably come out as a cool game.
Yeah, it was Bethesda really did something that we didn't realize the Switch was going to be able to do. Right,
we had to really get on the mic and talk about that, because after that direct, we like had a good 45-minute discussion, and we didn't even record or anything.
Yeah, I mean that. So the year I went to PAX, they had Wolfenstein for Switch at PAX that year, and that video is still the most viewed video I've ever done. Was that off-screen footage of Wolfenstein 2 on Switch? And it's just like, man, I can't like that. It was crazy. Like that whole thing was just, man, I don't know. It was nuts. But yeah, 27.
Yeah, I'm going to say, and Wolfenstein 2 is so good. Man, that game is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I played through the whole thing on Switch, and it was, I've already said this before, but like, I know the preferred way to play it is in like 4K with ray tracing and 120 frames a second on PC or Series X or PlayStation 5 or whatever. But like, there's something, because that game is set in the 60s, right? And there's something about playing it on a lower resolution that gives it a tone that you can't get from the other platforms, right?
Yeah.
And it makes it feel period accurate, and it still feels really good to play. So yeah, I don't know. It's that Wolfenstein on Switch is an interesting piece in particular. But let's get into 2018, Ed. We could talk about 2017 for another hour. We got 8 more years to go through here.
Yes.
So 2018, no January game, but we did get the tease of Bayonetta 1 and 2 finally being ported over after we talked about it the entire summer. So Bayonetta 1 and 2 double pack ended up coming in February, which a lot of people were mad because Bayonetta 1 was a download code here. And in other regions they got cartridges.
Yeah.
But we ended up later getting a physical Bayonetta 1 separately. Remember when it was limited quantities, quote unquote?
Yeah.
My Best Buy still has like a whole row of them.
Oh, the collection?
No, just the first game.
Oh, the first game. Yeah. Okay.
And then in March we got Kirby Star Allies. April was the big Labo experiment with the variety and the robot kit, which I don't know if you remember, Ed, but remember Project Giant Robot for Wii?
Yes.
That ended up being the robot kit for Labo. And that was really interesting to see them, because Nintendo is really known for utilizing gameplay mechanics. Because remember the GameCube Mario 128 demo with all the 128 Marios on screen at one time? That technology is Pikmin, right? They put that in Pikmin. That's the Pikmin technology. And all that kind of stuff, they do that all the time. And so to see that tech demo from when it was still called the Revolution, right? Tech demo of Project Giant Robot and Project Hammer and all that stuff, like to see all that stuff still just, they're like sitting on it, and they're like, oh well, this would be perfect for this, and so they just threw it in. It's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
Another thing with Labo is just even with the advertisements, and people making fun of it, but then people just like, oh, this is an engineering thing. I could create this with some cardboard box and program this on the game. Like, it was really huge. Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon and Ariana Grande and the Roots Band and all of them, they did her single "No Tears Left to Cry" using Labo. Like that is crazy to get this big pop star and them to come in and do this. Like, and people who did get it, who regardless of what people think about it, the things that people was just like, I could use my engineering skills in the game, and I also could teach my kids engineering skills and stuff. Like, it gave a lot of people a lot of ideas of what they could create, and it was just great. Like, yeah, people made fun of it, but there was so much creativity and ideas that did come from Labo.
Yeah, it's so crazy how all that kind of just worked.
Yes.
And then obviously we got 2 other kits later, right? And you know what's funny, Ed, about Labo is, so there's like Samsung has all these like weird built-in channels to their TVs, right? Like they just, it's almost like their version of YouTube almost. But my daughter is really into crafting and really into art and painting and drawing and crafting. And what do you know? One of the channels on this Samsung thing is cardboard engineering. and how to build things out of cardboard and rubber bands and string. And I'm like, huh, that looks really familiar. Because they built like a backpack with like moving levers, and they built a like a motorcycle steering wheel type thing, and they built a piano, and I'm like, this all looks very familiar. I wonder where they got this idea. And I looked at the video, and it's from like 2022. It's not like, it wasn't like from this era,
Right.
And I was like, oh man, this is crazy. And I know like that stuff existed before Labo. I'm not dumb, but like it was very clearly like just the Labo kits. So anyways, in May we got 2 games. We got 2 ports of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze with the Funky Kong stuff, and we got Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition with new content. It had all the Wii U and the 3DS content plus new content, which was really interesting. By the way, I was watching that trailer the other day because I was looking for, I forget what I was looking for. And I really like Zelda's design in that game.
Yeah.
And like if they ever did a 3D Zelda game where you're playing as Zelda, I know Echoes of Wisdom is coming, but like a real 3D game like Breath of the Wild, I would hope that would be the Zelda that they would use, because she has a really cool design. Also, there's like a bunch of original characters in that game that aren't in any Zelda game. I didn't know that. There's like 5 or 6 original characters in there. I had no idea.
Yeah, because a lot of those characters were in the Wii U version of it.
Yeah. In June, we got Mario Tennis Aces, which I know a lot of people were excited about. I don't really remember the reception of that game.
People enjoyed it. It was okay.
Yeah. Was that the reception? Just it was okay?
Yeah.
I know they did that thing where they released characters like every 2 weeks or something. So that was something, I guess. July, pretty memorable month for me because Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and Octopath Traveler came out on the same day my daughter was born. And I made my parents go to the GameStop and pick the games up for me. And I think my wife was angry that I made them do that, but it's fine. It's fine.
I remember copping both of these games on that when they came out. I'm like, even though I had Treasure Tracker on Wii U, I'm like, I gotta have this on Switch. And this was like, it was only $40 still. I was just like, oh heck yeah, let me snag this.
Yeah.
And then Octopath Traveler, just like, oh, I had to have this. This was the start of the 2D HD movement and everything.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I just remember those games because of that specifically. And then in August, we got Sushi Striker Way of Sushido, which also came out on 3DS. And this is the one version of the game where I would say the 3DS version is better.
Because of the touchscreen, yeah.
Which you can still do the touchscreen stuff on the Switch, but having that second screen on the bottom and, being able to use the stylus for more precision was way better. September, we got the Labo vehicle kit, which you could use with Mario Kart, which was really cool and interesting. There's actually a Labo mode in Mario Kart that kind of, tweaks the controls more towards somebody using Labo. We also got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country, which I think is actually a prequel to the main game or something.
Yes, it is.
October, we got Starlink Battle for Atlas, which is the best Star Fox game.
You still playing that?
It was great. So
it was. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah. So the big thing with Starlink was that it was a Ubisoft kind of starship traveling game, which a lot of that tech you can see in Star Wars Outlaws coming. It's a lot of the tech that they were showing off with Beyond Good and Evil 2 when they revealed that, like flying from planet to planet and doing missions on the planet. But the thing about the Switch version is that it had the R-Wing from Star Fox in it, and it had a whole exclusive campaign revolving around Star Fox. And you could play as the Star Fox characters throughout the entire game. And that came with the little figures and the R-Wing and everything if you bought the physical version. It was really cool. I really enjoyed my time with that game. So that was a really cool thing. And then Nintendo also published The World Ends With You Final Mix, which I think was it had the content from the mobile game and the main and the real game. Or the main game, I guess. November we got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, which obviously at this time Pokemon Go was still really big, and they were trying to see how they could capitalize on that, and they kind of remade Red and Blue, Pokemon Red and Blue in the style of Pokemon Go, which was really interesting, and my daughter really enjoys playing it. She loves it. Eevee is her favorite Pokemon, and so she's kind of obsessed with it. But yeah, that was really cool. I really love Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah, the Let's Go games were really big because people just like they were getting the game for themselves and getting that game for kids. So that game did numbers, some really good numbers.
And then in December, Smash Brothers Ultimate, which we could talk about the lead up to that and the entire run of DLC characters. But
before we even go on with just Smash Ultimate, that's when the Game Awards itself became important because Nintendo dropped some heat, but they dropped the Ultimate Alliance 3 trailer, and then when Reggie showed in and it got dark in where they was at, and you just seeing the Persona 3 stuff, you're thinking Persona 5, not 3. When you seen the stuff from Persona 5, you're thinking, oh, Atlas is dropping Persona 5 for Switch. Joker got announced for Smash, and everybody literally lost their mind for Ultimate. Like this was when the Ultimate secret characters coming out became a big deal. This was a big thing for the Game Awards because that's why everybody kept watching it year after year. They wanted to see what Nintendo was going to be there to announce something for during the Game Awards, like a trailer wise, because of it. And so when Joker from Persona 5 got announced and then more information came about it, people were just like, okay, Persona 5 is not even on Switch. Is it going to happen?
Yeah, well, we ended up getting Strikers first, right? The spinoff.
Yeah. So. Because we got 5 Royal. Let's see. We got 3. We got Portable, Golden, 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royals. I think last year. We got Strikers, and then I think we got Tactical. I think Tacticals came first before the other 3 main games and stuff. So when Persona finally had hit the Switch, it was a big deal. People were already just ready to give them coin if Persona 5 Royal had dropped for Switch, even though Microsoft like snagged it first and everything. People literally was excited because that's when JRPGs started to become a big deal, definitely on Nintendo Switch. But that Joker announcement at the Game Awards, dude, it was literally almost on a high level of Sephiroth's trailer from Final Fantasy VII, being on it.
Yeah.
A little bit with Cloud, but that Final Fantasy VII trailer when Sephiroth came to Smash, that's how huge Joker was when it got announced.
Yeah, man, what a
dude,
what a crazy like
the Smash DLCs and just announcements helped a lot of games get recognized because Xenoblade 2 didn't jump off the way that it did until the DLC characters came. And that's when the Xenoblade really became popular. Once them characters dropped in Smash Ultimate DLC, that's when everybody just like, I gotta get the amiibo. I gotta get these characters. And that's when people started talking about why is it hard to find these physical copies of the Xenoblade games. It's because y'all didn't pick them up when they came out. And it just over with those two characters, Monolith Soft became abundantly huge after that trailer for Smash. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then like obviously the lineup of DLC characters like after that, right? Like I mean Sora being the last character was
how do you end a DLC run with like that?
I don't know, man. I love the fact that they included Sora. I wanted Sora so bad. I mean, I called it, first of all.
I doubted it so much. I'm like, it would never happen because of Disney and the licensing and Square and just all of that just felt like it was something that was going to be a headache to do. That Nintendo didn't want it. And that's what I was coming from. And then the second thing was just like, what is going to be his moves? Because I'm just like, there's really not much to Sora in the games and stuff. But man, shout out to Kim Hawkins. He got his, he's seen it, he lost his mind, and everything. But people who wanted Sora, they got it. Nintendo worked with Square and Disney. And I think it was
the fact that they were even like because like the big thing is, yes, Disney partially owns Sora, but Square could have probably Nintendo and Square probably could have gotten away with using Sora without the key, like the normal Keyblade. They probably could have picked like a different one. Yeah, they're using the main Keyblade, which has the Mickey Mouse head keychain on it. And it's still in the game. It's on the amiibo, which is wild to me that they actually like got to do that. It's so cool, man.
And I know in Japan, it was just like the number one rated character, like people really wanted to have. And my logic for it happening was that Nintendo got great relationship with both because Nintendo has produced some of Disney's games, and their relationship with Square had just gotten better. So it's just like, if Nintendo got all of these fans and they got all of these sales, and this is something that people want, yes, let's make it happen. And I think because they were able to work something out, that was able to happen. Like, it's insane. It's just like I said, that trailer, if you go back and watch that trailer, it's insane on how that was able to happen. Like, that shocked everybody.
Yeah, it was really something. It was I can't believe it.
Oh, one last thing, Corey, before we move on. The silent trailer they put out before Ultimate dropped, with all of them fighting, and then everybody taking that trailer and putting all of this different music to it. Yeah. Great marketing. Yeah. Nintendo was so smart because they were just like, yeah, we don't have to worry about licensed music. Let them all do it, because what happens is the word gets spread out. Mm-hmm. It was so smart of Nintendo to do it. And Nintendo can't get in trouble because they're like, there go our trailer. This is our official trailer. That's everybody else.
Yeah. Yep. Man, what a I don't know, man. It was crazy. It still boggles my mind,
Hey, they said it's one of the biggest crossovers in fighting games, and it is.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Let's so the notable 3DS games this in 2018, right? Detective Pikachu, Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, which I think was the racing game.
Mm-hmm,
also the first retail game with Dylan in it, which Dylan's Rolling Western was a really weird 3DS series look it up. It's interesting but weird. WarioWare Gold, which was like all of those like the best mini games, right, in WarioWare. And then the Luigi's Mansion remake also came out in 2018 for 3DS, which was fine. I wish they would make an HD version of that for Switch and let me do normal controls and not inverted. It's just me though. And then the download-only game that Nintendo published that year was part of the Arcade Archives Sky Skipper. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's 2018 in a nutshell. Shall we proceed to 2019, Edward?
Let's get into one of the craziest and maybe the best years of the Switch.
Yeah, because this is really when third parties started coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah, so third party support really started flowing in, right? And so I mean, the second half of this year was crazy, and it might not seem like it when we go through first party stuff. I mean, it's still an awesome first party year, but this was the year we got like, we got Wolfenstein Youngblood, we got The Witcher, we got Dragon Quest, we got all these amazing games.
Was this also the year that we got Dead Cells?
Because that came out in August, right before Astral Chain.
It was literally, and I know this is jumping ahead, but this was like a literal Metroid Prime remaster situation that people double dipped, and we already knew that people was double dipping, and I know we're gonna get into to it, but people bought people who waited for the physical of Dead Cells because it was going to be the full game. They waited, and it was just like, but I think it was a Walmart or Best Buy announcement that people would just pre-order. Like, they didn't even announce the game. They were just like, yeah, you could just pre-order Dead Cells for Switch. Everyone's like, wait a minute, when did this game get announced? It was insane.
Right. So that was this year, man, this whole year. So let's January.
Yeah, go ahead.
January kicked off with New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, which was, obviously a Wii U launch title that was I really liked, but I know clearly people were tired of New Super Mario Brothers at that point. It felt like so. I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
I also enjoyed it, but I also liked Super Mario New Super Mario Brothers 2 on the 3DS, and nobody liked that one either. So yeah, it's whatever, to each their own, I guess.
Yes,
you guys are all allowed to be wrong. It's okay. Yeah, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, February, Ed, the big surprise from that January Direct, right, was Tetris 99, which ended up becoming a huge hit. Hit, right? And so I don't really know what else to say about Tetris 99. It was like a revolutionary. Everybody tried it. Like, there was a Pac-Man 99, right? Yeah. There was the
F-Zero 99,
which
was crazy. I mean, even though that's not Tetris or anything, but that started the 99 series that people just love, and then it was just like special editions or of the 99 series of Tetris. Like, people really enjoyed it. People didn't know how addictive that game was.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, and so we got a lot of that later. Like, I mean, even Pac-Man 99 and Super Mario Brothers 35, right? Even to an extent, like, same idea. Wild, man. That game was awesome. I remember, like, that second week I was playing. Like, I never won, but I came in second place 4 times. Never won. And they still have stuff going on with that.
Yeah,
they just had a crossover with what was the one crossover they just had? What was the not Paper Mario? Maybe they had one. They just had a crossover or something. Also, side tangent, I think we talked about it on this show, but Mario Run is still going, and they just had a Luigi's Mansion crossover. That was weird.
Yeah.
anyways, so March we got Yoshi's Crafted World, which was the follow up to Woolly World.
That was my first review that you helped me with.
Yeah, we that's still up on the site somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
So
I love that game.
Yeah, it was great. It's funny because my kids, I'm trying to get them like introduced to games with the controller and not just poking at their tablets, right?
Yeah.
And so Yoshi's Woolly World is one that I kind of put on for them. Within that, like, what was it called? Mellow mode, where you put the wings on, and it's kind of like an easy mode. They still don't understand. My daughter is getting better at it, but like my son just doesn't. He likes Mario Kart. My son loves Mario Kart. But you turn on all the kid features, and he thinks he's doing good, but he's like, it's moving for him, it's steering for him, it's keeping him on the track, and like he puts the controller down half the time and points at the screen like, haha, laughs and whatever. So it's fun. So April and May we didn't get any Switch games, but we did get we got Box Boy and Box Girl in April, which was a downloadable game.
Oh, love that game.
The April and May games were 3DS games, and Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey, and Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which was a port of the Wii game to 3DS. And we also got Super Kirby Crash in there somewhere, and a game called The Stretchers, which Nintendo published over here. And Nintendo owns that IP, apparently. I was looking up IP because there was an interesting fact that up until 2020 or 2021, I guess it would have been, Nintendo published a new IP every year from 1984 until 2021, which was like a crazy stat to realize because obviously Mario in 1985 or whatever, and then Zelda, and then Metroid, and then you can point to the classic ones, but then once you get into the Super Nintendo era, you're like, what new IP are they? And I do think Smash Brothers obviously counts as an IP, even though it uses existing characters. Mario Kart, I think, exists as an IP, right? So that's a strange kind of wording for it, but Good Job was published by them, and some of these other games for Wii and Wii U were published by them that you wouldn't think Nintendo would be involved in, and Wii Sports and that kind of stuff. So crazy stat. But
I might have to research to see what games were released every year. That was a new IP.
Yeah, I mean that list is easy to find. I think Fandom has that list somewhere.
Okay.
But this is this summer is when we got into the really crazy time. So this is the first party IP alone, Ed.
Oh, okay? So
here we go.
This was insane.
Here we go. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda, came out in June with Super Mario Maker. July was Fire Emblem Three Houses and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order, which Nintendo published.
And before we even go further, with just Fire Emblem Three Houses, that game sold out so much that the restocks took longer to get. The restocks came in and the game sold again. I think it slowed down in September. That's how much of the restock of Three Houses that they had to do for that game. And they was doing it everywhere that game was just selling out physically. It was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was crazy. That Marvel Ultimate Alliance was just this thing that existed. It wasn't very good, I'm gonna be honest with you, but
I enjoyed it for what it is and everything.
It was fine. It wasn't bad. It was just
right.
I think a lot of people had high expectations because of how they remember the first one being. And
Yeah.
this was kind of didn't really push that forward in any way. August, we got Astral Chain, which ended up being an awesome IP from Platinum. That still, in my opinion, is one of the best games released on the Switch. That's not like a traditional Nintendo IP.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's better than most of the Nintendo's traditional IP too. Like, I think that's a top 15er on Switch.
Well, the trailer for Astral Chain, I think, was that March of that same year.
Yeah.
Like the first trailer of it was that March, and because that was the Nintendo Direct, and everyone just like, what is this? And then when it said Astral Chain and it said Platinum Games, you're just like, wait, what? And then when we realized that it was coming out in 4 months, this is when we didn't know that Nintendo had stuff in the pipeline, and they were just like, yeah. Here's the announcement. It'll be out in this certain amount of time. You be like, wait, what? Like, they did it a lot for a lot of their games. Yeah. And that was super cool.
Yeah. So that's, man, Astral Chain. I hope we get a sequel to that. Yeah. I mean, it was designed to be a trilogy, right? That's kind of how they envisioned it. So I wonder if we'll end up getting that at some point.
Well, like I said, Platinum and Nitty being quiet together, so they got to be working on something. They have to.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that partnership is gonna be interesting moving forward. I'll say. I'm really interested to see what that ends up being. To be honest, so. But September.
Oh, good night! This crazy month.
So yeah, September was crazy. But we ended up getting the Link's Awakening remake, which is still one of my favorite games on the Switch. So it might be one of my favorite games of all time. I need to finish it. But
was that the ending one for the March Direct?
Was that what?
Was that the ending for the March Direct? Link's Awakening, the showcase?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it had that really awesome trailer, and then the collector's edition everywhere except for the United States had the Game Boy Steelbook, which I ended up importing.
Nice.
It's sitting back there on my shelf.
Yes.
So, and then Nintendo helped publish the Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition because they had that exclusive 3DS mode.
Yeah.
Where you could play the entire game as like an NES style sprite based RPG.
Yeah.
And they ended up porting that to the Switch. And so Dragon Quest XI-S, even though XI-S ended up coming to Xbox later, right? Nintendo, it was like an Octopath Traveler situation where Nintendo published it, had like some weird exclusive type thing for it.
And that's when we got the orchestrated music for this, because it was mid-eye for the original PlayStation 4 when it came to America. And even released in Japan and for the 3DS. So when it came out for Switch, that's when they went back and did the orchestra music for that. Shout out to, and I know a lot of people don't care for this game or was kind of disappointed, but David X Machina also dropped one of my games of E3 when it dropped, they showed that trailer. Man, I was super happy that game dropped, and like it was just such a beautiful trailer, and I enjoyed the game. I still need to finish it, but man, that's what made probably September hard, because you were going to be paying up to $180 just for that month alone for Nintendo if you were getting that game and Dragon Quest and Link's Awakening. And then there were some indie games too that came out. Like September was packed. That's how insane it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was September was crazy. There's so much coming out at that time. And then like it didn't slow down, right? Because October we got Luigi's Mansion 3. November we got Pokemon Sword and Shield. We also got, The Witcher was a huge release at that time.
Did Hades drop that October too?
I think Hades. I don't.
Was
remember.
That 2020?
I think that was 2020. No, I think it was. Man, I don't remember. I don't remember. Um, man, I don't remember, man.
Because
I think it was 2019 because 2020 um was the pandemic year, and we ended up getting Age of Calamity and the Fire Emblem 30th anniversary and the Mario anniversary edition. So I think Hades was 2019. I don't know. Look it up.
Yeah, because I remember when Hades dropped for
Mm-hmm.
okay, so the release date, macOS, Switch, and Windows, September 17th, 2020. Yeah, so it was in 2020. Because I remember when Hades dropped, that that game was big from its because it was in early access when it came out for on Epic's Games website. And then when it got the full like release, it dropped on Switch because it was on the exclusive console.
Mm-hmm.
That mug stayed big from the time it's released to the Game Awards. And then when it dropped on Xbox and PlayStation, everybody was playing like of course you were playing it on better hardware, but everybody was playing the Xbox version because that cover on that green Xbox One, man, was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it stayed popular. That's why Hades 2 now is such a big thing because everybody was that's when people started getting into the rogue kind of the rogue like kind of genre and stuff because of Hades. But I remember
Mm-hmm.
Hades was big for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, Hades was huge. I mean, because it was exclusive unless you played on
Yeah.
PC, right? Like
Yep.
that was a huge like man, so crazy that game came to Switch, and like the physical copy right too was huge.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that with Hades 2 now, but
Oh shoot. Nintendo's probably working on getting that exclusive.
yeah. But this is when we like the third party support really started, and like we were like I still can't believe that they put The Witcher 3 on the Switch.
And
I
it is so that people beat the game on Switch more than the other consoles.
well,
That's
I
crazy.
that's loaded, but a lot of people ended up playing it on Switch. I think the big
And,
thing too was like um yeah, I mean so first of all, your statement not true. But a lot of people did end up playing on Switch, and the big thing at the time was like the Switch version could sync with the cloud version of your PC save.
yeah.
And this was like pre like Steam Deck and pre, all these portable PCs. So having the Witcher portable and you can make progress, and then going home and playing on PC, and then at some point I think this the cloud save just saved everywhere at some point, so like you could play it
Yeah.
on your Xbox and then take it on Switch at some point, I think. But like that was a huge deal, and like you hear people saying that they played a lot of The Witcher on Switch, like
And
predominantly like
and that's why I made the comment that people were saying that they was beating it they on Switch because I didn't hear a lot of people they enjoyed The Witcher, but I didn't hear a lot of reports of people finishing it on any other platform. I was at that time it came out, I just heard people saying that they finally beat it on Switch. So that's why I made that statement. And I was just and that may have been in my Twitter friends and stuff and some of the gaming journalists and stuff, but I just
Mhm.
seen people said that I beat The Witcher on Switch. I shouldn't see anyone say any other platform. That's why I made that statement.
Yeah. But regardless, the Witcher on Switch was a major feat. I mean, I think I played like 30 hours of it on Switch at some point, right? I mean, I played a lot of it. So, yeah, so that was 2019. That was a monster year. So many great games.
Yeah.
At some point we'll go over some of the major third party and major indie games on the platform as well, but that was just a lot to do. I mean, we're already 2 hours in and we're just now getting to 2020. So 2020 obviously a light year for many reasons. One, pandemic kind of shifted everything. Two, I think having Animal Crossing, being their kind of main game for the year, right? I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
like Animal Crossing is a year-round game, and so that really helped kind of it helped a lot of people. Well, here, let's just go through this list real quick. January was Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore,
Yes.
which is one of the best games that nobody ever played, and it is really hard to find on Switch now. It's already like new copies on eBay. I was looking at them the other day because I just got it's funny, the Wii U version is easier to find than the Switch version at this point. Because
Yep.
like the collector's edition of Tokyo Mirage Sessions on the Wii U is cheaper than the regular edition on Switch on eBay as of this recording. And I'm glad I have a physical copy on Switch.
Same.
That game, I love that game. That was like my real first introduction into like a Persona style game, because it's essentially Persona. It's like, how do I want to describe it? It's like, I don't want to say it's baby's first Persona, but it's like if you are interested in Persona, this is what you should probably start with, and then go into Persona 4 and 5, right?
Yeah.
And the cool thing is like it mixes with Fire Emblem characters, which is what the FE stands for, like Sharp FE stands for, and it revolves around what the Japanese idol scene, music idol scene. So that's really cool. I just really like that game. I think it's a really cool game.
I would tell everybody, go watch the trailers first, because the music is banging. That's why that's why I definitely wanted it. Of course, I beat the Persona 3 FES, and I was into Persona, the foundation of Persona 3, I should say, because it's that kind of template that they use for it, this game. But man, when you get into it, fun fights, great music, it really is designed as a Persona game, but there's some little changes here and there, and it's an amazing game. And that was the one I definitely was waiting for. And when they announced it, I'm like, I have to go buy this. Like it was no joke on how quickly I left to go get this game.
Yeah. So that was a great game. No February game. But Animal Crossing came out on the 20th, the same day as Doom
2
Eternal. Yeah. And Animal Crossing came out at the exact right time because of the pandemic, and it really helped. Like Animal Crossing really helped a lot of people through the lockdown. Because it kept, like, I think Animal Crossing has a lot to do, so it kept people occupied, but also like when you're isolated for that long, you really lose track of days and time, and like just how functioning as a normal person works, right? If you were following the rules, which, a lot of people weren't, but that's a different conversation for a different day. And so I think that really helped people keep pace of time as well.
And that the Wii Fit gang, with the
Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring Fit Adventure. Animal Crossing Ring Fit Adventure was big during the pandemic, and when I'm talking about sales, them mugs was becoming hard to find in stores, because people were just like, I can't go to the gym. They was getting Ring Fit Adventure, and that also allowed people to buy Switches, because that was the only way that you could play it. So if you didn't have a Switch, and people were getting it, like like the Switch started becoming a hot commodity in a lot of stores, because it was just like, I want to play these games while I'm going through the pandemic stuff, and if I could still do my gym stuff through Ring Fit, I'm gonna do it, and a lot of people did.
Yeah. And so like Nintendo still had a pretty decent cadence of games this year, right? Like May we had Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. July was Paper Mario The Origami King, which, remember, we were expecting a big direct in June and we never got one.
Yes.
Well, maybe February, March, we were expecting one, and all we got were like these small game specific ones, and then just some random Thursday in what? Let's see. Paper Mario came out in July. What? So April, we got a trailer for Paper Mario and says, "Hey, it's out in July. Go nuts."
Yeah.
And then like we got another random trailer for the Super Mario 3D All Stars collection. It's out in September. Here you go. And then so September we got the All Star collection, which is like, I think a lot of people feel like that's a poor collection. It was poorly received for some, obviously it doesn't include Super Mario Galaxy 2. I still think they're going to sell Galaxy 1 and 2 as a collection at some point.
Right. This is when people were mad that it was a time limited, and I'm just like, okay.
Yes.
But the game had been out for almost I think they did like a year about it. Like even when it came out, then that's when people stopped talking about the time limited of this game and stuff. And it's just like, you have enough chance to go get this game because they put out enough copies. And those people who said what they said never went and got a copy and got mad when Nintendo's like, well, we're about to start making it in closed shop. So if you want it, come get it now.
Yeah. And I have a physical of that too, which that's getting harder to find too. But yeah, so also the big thing with this game wasn't to sell. It wasn't purposed to sell, right? Like it was, they sold a product out of this, right? But it was to get the emulation right for N64 and GameCube games. Right? Because obviously we started seeing ports of GameCube games starting around this time. Sunshine was the first one, and they were really trying to nail down, if they could emulate GameCube, if they could HD kind of remaster these games and still have the same effect. And obviously the Wii, I think Galaxy was probably the same way for the Wii, which we have gotten some Wii HD port. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles is the perfect example of that. But, that's when we were starting to see remasters of GameCube games, and that was awesome. And then NSO N64 came out in 2021, right? And
yes,
we got some great stuff in 2020 at the end of that year too, right? I mean, we got Mario Kart Home Circuit, which was that cool kind of RC car, Mario and Luigi racing thing, right? And that you use your Switch. Like it was cool because like there was a camera on the cart, and the camera feed was on the Switch screen, and you used the Switch controllers to race the cars, and you built your own tracks, and like the track came with these little stands that had sensors in them to like kind of, it was really neat. It used augmented reality also. I don't really know how well that sold, but it was an interesting idea.
I think it did okay. It's just you just didn't hear nothing about it after, because everybody was just like, they really wanted more carts after the game came out, and everything. But
yeah. I also think that selling it the year of the pandemic was probably not the best idea, but it's okay. But we also got the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which I think a lot of people were just ecstatic that we were getting another game set in that universe, right? Because we really did. I think they had already confirmed that the next game would be set in the same universe, but like people were hungry for more Breath of the Wild, right? And this was a way to kind of bridge that gap, until Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Yeah, because this was, I know you had talked about, or we actually talked about 3-game trilogy for the Breath of the Wild like kind of series.
Yeah.
And so we thought that at the time we didn't count Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We didn't count it as the first game. We thought that there was going to be a follow-up after Tears, and that would make the whole trilogy. But now that Tears is actually the last game, for some people, we still got that trilogy. Like for me, I think we still got the trilogy because I include Age of Calamity, Breath of the Wild, and then Tears of the Kingdom. But some people don't do it and everything. And this is when the Warriors game, were still had a big audience because Hyrule Warriors actually owned the Wii U after it got announced and the game came out. A lot of people started to get into the Warrior series. So when Age of Calamity came out, people were literally excited. And like you said, more people wanted something for Breath of the Wild. And regardless of how you look at Age of Calamity, it is a really great game. Mm-hmm. Like it has a lot to do in it, but there's just something about it because of not having a time limit and not have to rush stuff. You were able to spend more time in that game and like grind and stuff and just literally have fun in it. And that's why Fire Emblem Three Hopes became a big like Warriors game because that freedom for you to grind and have time in it and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was man, what a crazy year 2020 was. And then we also got a bunch of great downloadable games, right? Obviously the Fire Emblem 30th anniversary game came out that year, right? It was the fully translated edition of Shadow Dragon, which is the first game. We also got Good Job, which was that really awesome puzzle game.
It is funny.
that game is incredible. If you guys haven't played Good Job, I would highly recommend it. Pokemon Cafe and Pokemon Unite also came out that year, I think, which was that weird free-to-play MOBA game. Because that was a year that people thought MOBAs were going to take over the world, and it didn't. Kirby Fighters 2, Super Mario Brothers 35, Part-Time UFO, which is another interesting puzzle game. Jump Rope Challenge, which was that weird free download that was like it was supposed to encourage people to exercise, right? And I think it got overlooked because Ring Fit Adventure was so popular and fitness boxing was becoming popular too. Remember the fitness boxing series? There's a new one coming. There's a new fitness boxing coming out that's like I don't know, anime girl something.
I know Fist of the North Star was a big one. Was a good like add-on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2021 was also a really interesting year. We got
goodness. Just go ahead, Corey, because the first game that you're about to announce.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, to kick off the year with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Mario 3D World is an incredible Mario game.
I think it's just one of the best 3D games.
Yeah,
of the Mario series.
It's one of the best, and I wish more people would play it. Mm-hmm. But we also got Bravely Default that year too. Bravely Default 2, which I know a lot of people were looking forward to, especially after Octopath Traveler and Square kind of reviving the small RPG, I guess you would call it, the mid-sized RPG.
Yeah, it was kind of confusing because there was a different Bravely game that came on 3DS.
Yeah,
everybody thought that was and everybody thought that was the second game. So when we seen Default 2, we were just like, "Huh?" We was a little bit confused, but we just took it as whatever it was, and then that was it.
Yeah, it was strange. So, but anyways, we got Bravely Default 2. April, we got new Pokemon Snap, which a lot of people were excited for, and then realized maybe they didn't really want more Pokemon Snap. I think there was a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon in there somewhere too.
It was in February. Yeah.
And then in May we got the full remakes of the Famicom Detective Club games, which you played, I think. Both of them.
Yes. I'm still working on the second game, which is actually it's a mess. It's weird, everybody. The first game,
it's weird.
Yeah, the first game is like kind of supposed to be the start of it, but the prequel, which is the second game, is supposed to take place first before the first game start, and everything. But these two games are adventure games that they never got translated or came to America. They only did digital versions. There isn't no physical for America. I don't know about Japan, But I bought both games. I think they came in a double pack or something like a bundle. But I bought both games and everything.
Yeah.
And they are really good stories. I still, like I said, I'm working on the second one. I just need to re-download it and go for that. But yeah, um, this was something I can admit I've never heard of these games. They literally were only in Japan. There was no one in America covering them, so I never knew about them until Nintendo announced it in their not E3 in their Nintendo Direct. I had never heard of these games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were kind of like the, let's see, what was the game that came out earlier this year? The Another Code Recollection. They kind of
Yeah,
kind of feel along the lines of that in a sense.
because it would have been this game, Another Code, uh goodness, I just cannot think about it. Hotel Dusk would have been another one, but in that era, too, because these was kind of like the event-ridden adventure games, that Nintendo had made and stuff. So there's a history kind of with that, with it. So,
yeah.
oh man, Hotel Dusk in the sequel. That's the last adventure game I think Nintendo has touched on. That I would love to see to come to Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a strange what a strange series of events these games have been. Because like in June we got Game Builder Garage, which was like the weird like the weird like let's build a game but it doesn't tie to any engine and you can't sell them type of thing. It was like
yeah,
I don't know, these games kind of like I guess like basic coding is really interesting and like basic game building, and it was kind of based on tools that Unreal and Unity kind of use in terms of scripting, but like it was just very 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 light learning tools, which I still think is really valuable in a sense if you're interested in game design, but like
mm-hmm.
There are plenty of other tools out there now that are especially with Unreal Engine 5 having like a whole suite of like free tutorials, and the program is free, and like that kind of stuff. Like there's more interesting ways to go about learning how to build a game now. But that was what, $30 I think.
Yeah,
and then we also got Mario Golf Super Rush, which was also very disappointing. Mechanically it was fine, but there was no like real substance to that game.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in it, especially because like the older Mario Golf games had real substance, especially like the handheld ones had like RPG elements and building your golfer up and all that.
Yeah, when Camelot was touching the Mario Golf games, that's when they were really good.
Yeah. So there was that. Let's see. July we had Skyward Sword HD, which they added real controls to that. I finished like the first 2 dungeons and I was like, I don't know, man. This is weird. I still want to go back and finish it because I know it's the first game in the timeline, and I know it ties into the Breath of the Wild stuff kind of directly in a sense. A lot of people still say that Skyward Sword is the first game in this quote unquote trilogy, but I don't know. I don't believe it. And then in September we got another WarioWare game, Get It Together.
Pokemon Unite also in July.
Yeah. October was the big month, right? We got the Switch OLED. We got Metroid Dread, which was awesome. We got
Amiibo.
The Amiibos. Yeah, the Amiibo were okay. I still think they look weird. The pose they chose to put Samus in was really weird. And then Mario Party Superstars, which was the classic boards remade. But there's like 5 or 6 boards, and they could have done a whole DLC plan, and they didn't. Like, it was just this weird. It was weird, man. I wish they would have gone further. and then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out.
Got both of those games. Love them. Because Diamond is my birthday kind of gym, or like for us Aries. Birthstone, birthday gym.
Birthday gym, jeez. Wow. Wow, Ed.
Hey,
it's funny. I'm allowed to laugh. It's funny.
Yes.
All right. Where did I leave off?
So we're in
2022. Yeah, 2022 is when things start really picking up again. We had Pokemon Legends Arceus in January that year. March, we got Triangle Strategy and Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which I know a lot of people really like the Kirby game.
Yeah, that is really good. Like even when you get to the end of the game, it's really good. I advise people to give that game, if you own it and you stop playing it, go back to it and play it fully. Like just go for it. It is great level design, and you would not. The boss battle and the ending is so memorable. You will fall out laughing on how good it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's see. Nintendo Switch Sports, they tried to recapture the Wii Sports stuff, and they just never did. I really feel like that game fell really flat. Which, I mean, it's hard to recapture that magic that Wii Sports had. I mean, that was a revolution, and to try to recapture that was just,
Yeah. And I think it was kind of like the pandemic was kind of, ending and stuff. So people were more likely going outside, being more active.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was interesting, but at the end of the day, just didn't get it. That DLC just came out too, right? The basketball one. So
I think so. It's coming.
Yeah. But June was the month people I think were waiting for. June and July. We got Mario. This is a huge stretch of time, by the way.
Yes.
June, we got Mario Strikers Battle League, which a lot of people were really excited for, and I think actually turned out to be probably the best sports game they put out at this point.
Yeah.
By far, I would argue. And then you and I are huge champions of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes.
Oh yes, Shez,
one of the best Fire Emblem characters that probably won't ever make it into another game. Shez is awesome.
She is a legend, an icon, just like one of my favorite characters in the Fire Emblem series. Yeah. And the voice acting for her, amazing. Just like I jumped into that game playing that server, just like, oh yeah, this is about to be enjoyable.
Yeah, I wish they would have done more with her.
Yeah,
I wish Shez was in the original game. To be honest, where's my amiibo? Where's my Shez Figma figure?
If Corey Tecmo get back to the not three houses, but Corey Tecmo get back to the Fire Emblem games, I don't care if she's DLC. I will pay for her to be in that game.
Yeah. July we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which everybody loves, right?
I cannot say much about this game. I have rambled on with this game. Literally, it was my game of the year. Like, from story to music to voice acting to the cutscenes, I'm telling you guys and gals that this game outbeats Final Fantasy VII on the PS1. If you go into this game, watch the cutscenes, it put Final Fantasy VII cutscenes to shame. I'm sorry, Square Enix.
To be fair, it's 25 years newer than that.
It is, but I'm like, you have to play this game, and when you want a narrative story, when you thought Nintendo couldn't put out a game like this, and they did, you would literally leave that game amazed, speechless, it would make you think about the Xenoblade the series on a deeper level. Like it is one of probably one of the best JRPG games I have ever played and went through. Like I love Persona 3. Shout out to Lost Odyssey, Last Story. Shout out to all of those games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I think it outbeats Chrono Trigger for me and Secret of Mana. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't like anything that came out after 1996. So
I'm going to Dragon Punch you.
So August, no physical release, but Kirby's Dream Buffet came out that August, which was that weird $15 kind of party game that they came out. September was pretty big though. Splatoon 3 ended up coming out in September. Remember, it was supposed to come out in July, and they swapped places with Xenoblade.
Yes,
give it more time. Bayonetta 1 physical edition also released in September, along with like 100 other games in September and October. Right? I mean, we got Persona 5, Nier Automata, which is still by far one of the best games. I think that game, not to like praise this game 6 years after it came out, but that my point is like, you know how people get really hyped about a game and they're like, oh, this is the best game ever, and then like the entire community kind of rallies around that, and like you're like, is it though? Is it? And you like, it's just like a bunch of hyperbolic BS. This is a game that I can honestly say is probably one of the best action RPGs I think I've ever played. And I'm still trying to make my way through it, but the combat is awesome. The world is cool. The characters are really interesting and fascinating. And I'm not going to spoil the true ending because I know it. Because like before I played it, I didn't really care about it, right? Like I was like, I don't care about Nier at all. And so I kind of went in knowing what happens, but like knowing what happens after you kind of go through the different playthroughs and the different endings and stuff, and like the true story about it, it's like going through it, knowing all that is like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, it almost makes it better in a way. I mean, I know finding out that stuff while you're playing it is probably really cool too, but like knowing that and playing through it, knowing is like, oh my gosh, this just makes everything so much more dire and sad and cruel and just all kinds of so
I know that, and I'm not going to spend too much time because I played it on PS4. I know it came out to Xbox One. It did. Switch was the last one. I know that there was only one Best Buy in my area that carried the physical game. No other Best Buy carried in my area. I literally had to go drive 30 minutes from my job to go get it. And I was just like, I must snag this because this is going to be hard to find. And it's still a wonderful and awesome game. Once again, someone that Platinum been playing some treasure, shoot 'em ups, and put it into this game. Because the way that game start with that, I'm like, this is straight treasure. This feels like a treasure game. And I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I wonder if Replicant will ever make its way over, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that right now because it's
yeah, I'm gonna let that be what it needs to be.
I just, for completionist's sake, you would think people would want that, but
well, if Microsoft don't have it first, it may not come.
Well, look, it's on Xbox. Replicant is on Xbox.
The sequel to it.
Well, Nier is the sequel. Replicant is the first game.
No, there was didn't Replicant come out? Automata was the first one, and then they came out with another game after that. Was that Replicant?
It was Replicant, but Replicant is a remake of the first game.
First game.
Well, it's really complicated. Okay, the simple version is there were two versions of the first Nier. One came out in Japan. Balloons went off because I went like this. Peace. There are two versions of Nier. One came out in Japan, one came out here. The one here, the father was the main character, and in Japan, the sister was the main character.
Okay.
This one, this Nier Replicant, is supposed to be the canonical version. I don't remember which character you play as in Replicant. I haven't played it, but it's the version that didn't come out here is Replicant. So,
okay.
And then I think there's some added content in it, and there's different kinds of things going on. I'm not 100% sure on that story. You'll probably have to ask a Nier expert, but
yeah, because I remember it came out on PS4. I just didn't know Xbox got it, and then I may have missed that announcement. Yeah. I just didn't see anything being said, so that's why I'm just like, if it didn't come from Xbox, Switch probably wouldn't get it. Anything.
Yeah. So where were we? Oh yeah. So October we ended up getting the Mario plus Rabbids sequel, which was cool. We ended up getting Bayonetta 3, which a lot of people were looking forward to. I think that game, man, I hope that there's like some sort of ultimate edition on the next console, because this game deserves a little bit of TLC in terms of like not just the visuals, but just like the frame rate and stuff. It's
it's a pretty good game, and it's funny too. The cutscenes are still funny.
Yeah, I think Violet is a cool addition. I think kind of exploring Bayonetta's almost origin story, which we'll get into later, is interesting. But you know, and then November we got more Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet, which are what they are.
Yes, that. Yeah.
2023, everybody, we're almost there. We're almost to the current time. 2023 though, banger year, right? Kicked off with Fire Emblem Engage, which, you know, take it or leave it. Definitely not as good as Three Houses, but I got kind of bored with it, but a lot of true Fire Emblem like hardcore enthusiasts think this is one of the best ones since, you know, the DS ones, and the GameCube ones, which, man, where are those HD remakes? February though, Ed, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. No, but we got two remasters of Wii and GameCube games. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe was the Wii game that came out at the end of the life cycle of the Wii, which this version I hear is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But we also got Metroid Prime Remastered, which
googly moogly.
Like, look, the Switch has a lot of incredible games on it. It has a lot of good looking games on it. Right, we talk about Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild being great looking games. Mario Odyssey, Metroid Prime Remastered takes the cake by far as being probably being the best looking game on this console.
It's got I think a 90. I think it almost outbeat the GameCube version on Metacritic. It's insane.
Similar. It's pretty similar.
And I think it did. I think it did. Probably, I think it did 3 million. But I know people just like they bought it on the digital. 2 weeks after the game came out, was going to be the physical. And Nintendo came out and said, "Hey, everybody! I know we sold out. We're doing our best to get more physicals in." I literally had to get my pre-order. Once I seen Best Buy say that, hey, Metro Prime Remaster was available for pre-orders, I hit that pre-order button quickly and bought my copy. Dude, the day that I went to go pick it up, they had 15 copies already on pre-order. Just at my Best Buy, at my nearest Best Buy. I'm like, oh, a lot of people are about to come in and pick up this game.
Yeah, it was... Metroid Prime Remastered was an awesome kind of.
It looks, and when it literally looked like it's a brand new game, and almost in every aspect.
It's very clearly a remake. They just I feel like they called it remastered to kind of lower expectations for it, and it really just surprised a lot of people, which was great.
shout out to Iron Galaxy. They put the work in. They was not
Yeah.
clowning at all. And
Yeah, I think the
go ahead.
go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was
Sorry.
just about to say, I think they got more work with Nintendo coming in the future. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about Shiver also doing ports and everything. I'm just like, man, Shiver, Artwork Systems, and Iron Galaxy helping Nintendo port some stuff or remake some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a killer. Look for games. Probably for future Switch. I mean, like the current Switch and maybe Switch successor. Like if they could get stuff working and ported and it looks this good, that would be something to really discuss and think about and talk.
Yeah. It makes me excited for the potential, obviously, of Metroid Prime 4, but the potential of like a sequel to the sequels coming over because
Mm-hmm.
I know Echoes isn't really held as in high regard as the first one, but I think with proper controls, 3 could potentially be the best one of the original trilogy if you gave it some non-Wii controls, because I think intentionally or initially it was like it's cool that you can have the pointer as like a first person shooter type thing, right? But like
Yeah.
I really think I really just want normal controls for it. And I think Metroid Prime 3 is probably going to benefit the most from being ported over.
It was supposed to be more immersive because of the Wiimote and
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, which is fine, right? I mean, the Wii did what it was the game to show off what the Wii could do at that point, right? I
Yeah.
mean, aside from maybe Red Steel to an extent, but uh I mean, Red Steel wasn't great, but it did the I'm holding a sword in one hand and a gun in the other very well, right? So,
Yes.
um and Red Steel 2 was actually really good.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, I'm really interested to see how the sequels come over, which if I would be shocked if they didn't at this point now, right? You want the whole series on the console. I think they're just trying to figure out what's coming out the rest of the year and early next
Mm-hmm.
year, and probably trying to time it up for when Metroid Prime 4 comes out,
4.
right? Because
Yeah.
you don't want to release them like a month beforehand because people are going to burn out, but you want to release them with enough time for people to be excited for the new game, but also have time to play other, like have a palate cleanser before 4 comes out, right? So
Yes.
I would, depending on when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I would say Metroid Prime 4 is coming out in March would be my guess.
I'm
And
saying summer.
you would release these in December.
I'm saying summer for Prime 4.
You go ahead and say that.
Because I think, but only reason because Echoes, which is the second game, is going to take longer because of the light and dark world switching. There's a lot of that's a lot of to work with for Iron Galaxy, and I don't know how much time that's going to take. They probably been working on it along with Metroid Prime Remastered, but
Mhm.
Echoes is going to take a lot of work to do because of the light and dark world switching. Corruption will take time, but that's mostly because of the planet jumping. Prime 3 will be easier to do than Prime 2 and everything. But I could see if they could get that all worked out and release that in January, I think probably it's because it's 2025 without knowing a lot of the actual release dates. I think the summer would be a good time to release it because there probably won't be that many games out, and you want to have something get ready at least, or something to end the Switch lifespan if they're going to do their successor in the fall.
Mhm. Yeah. So,
Plus, I'm like that January feels like the right time to do port. Is like their port game, like start off the year like doing a port or a remaster or something.
mhm. Yeah. Well, where are we? March, right?
March. Yes.
Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. I think a lot of people actually really liked this game.
It's a really great game. I love it.
It reminds me of like they took Bayonetta and kind of put it in this, like it felt like they wanted to do some sort of sequel to Okami,
Yeah,
but like within the Bayonetta universe, and so they did, and they did, which was neat. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp finally got released in 2023 from our friends at Way Forward.
Yes.
Finally got Laurent excited for Nintendo. And then obviously May, the big drop of Tears of the Kingdom, which
love this game.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom's great. June, we got the other sequel everybody was waiting for. June, we got the sequel everybody was waiting for, really, in 2023, which was Everybody Want to Switch with the weird guy with the horse head on the front.
And everybody once who forgot like you and Nintendo did, because they didn't even market to that game to be like, oh, we put out a game for June, let's move on.
Yeah. July we got Pikmin 1, 2, and 4.
Pikmin 4.
By the way, by the time you're hearing this, Pikmin 4, if you don't have a physical copy, it's $34.99 at Target this week.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm talking like this releases on Tuesday. I'm saying this week of the day it releases, not like we're recording on Friday. It's this week. I'm saying, the week of the 8th. So I'm going to be getting that physical. I don't have a physical Pikmin 4, and I need it.
Game is so good.
We also got Disney Illusion Island, which was that Mickey themed Metroidvania with no combat. So that was interesting to get. And then I
do need to get the physical for Pikmin 1 and 2. I need to find that quickly before it's gone.
Yeah. So let's see. We got Disney Illusion Island in August. We didn't really get anything. I think we got F-Zero 99 in August. Was that the August drop in last year?
I think so.
2023. Yeah. And then September was the Bat and Kados 1 and 2 HD. Also, the only region that didn't get a physical edition was here.
Mm-hmm.
Still kind of upset about that. That's a really sad thing, I'm going to be honest with you. I really thought we were going to get a physical here, but we didn't. October, we got Detective Pikachu Returns and Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which was a really great change of pace for 2D Mario games. I still am trying to get into it.
I will say, even though Spider-Man 2 came out, Wonder's just still like on a list. That's crazy that game's just still selling. And it is a really good game. And there, of course, one of the big phrases was the Wowie Zowie, like, and people like a lot of people made a lot of jokes about it, but I'm like, you can't deny it that it was a good game, and it was really fun and inventive, and a lot of people loved the level design for it.
Yeah, it felt like a really nice evolution of 2D Mario with the badges, and taking the time constraints out of it was really a smart idea, I think. I really like the floating hat badge. It's probably my favorite, to be honest. It's really cool. And I really like the art style. I think the art style is great. Animations are awesome. So November, we got Super Mario RPG Remake, which was a very, very faithful remake, for better or for worse. It was very beautiful, though. I do have to say that. It was very good looking.
I will say it was a must needed remake for this game, because like I played the Super Nintendo one, I didn't get to beat it. There was a lot of problems that I had with it, and so this Mario RPG remake was really what I needed, and it's very more enjoyable in this state than it was on Super Nintendo for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Ed. It's time for this year, 2024.
Yes.
Another major year for the Switch. Another in terms of first party and third party, but January we got another Code Recollection, which was the collection of the two DS games, right?
Yes. Yes.
February we got the remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which was excellent. March we got Princess Peach Showtime, which was the original kind of Peach game, which seems really interesting. Pat said it was very grindy though, and very like, collectathon-y. If you want 100% it, it's very very that. May we got Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, which was great. Which is, we talked about at the top of the show. It looks amazing. Antiquated in gameplay, but still fun. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD in June, which is also a remake of the 3DS game, but worth it because it's the best Luigi's Mansion in my opinion.
And a lot of people are being it now. They're like finishing the game now and definitely enjoying it.
Because it's on a console worth playing. Sorry. The screens, by the time like these games started coming out on 3DS, like the screens were way too small, and I did not enjoy handheld gaming at that point. So my 3DS time was very limited, the second half of that console's life cycle.
But I did enjoy Dark Moon on 3DS.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I wanted to play the original game on the 3DS, and I just couldn't. The screen was too small, and obviously at that point the Switch was out, and I just can't go back.
Yeah, still hoping that, like you said, I hope they bring the first one, the Switch. Like I would love to play the collection. I actually would love to play the Capcom arcade game too. Like I want that to come.
I imagine at some point over the next 5 years, Nintendo's entire first party of the Wii and GameCube eras will be ported in HD in some form. I would say the next 5 to 7 years. I mean, there's not really that much in terms. I mean, the way Nintendo's been releasing games on the Switch, like there's not. They could easily put, 4 to 6 ports out a year to fill space, and they would get that out there, right? So,
because the Twin Snakes, that's the GameCube Metal Gear. After this Metal Gear Delta comes out, I hope Nitty talks to him. I hope they could get Twin Snakes remade, and I know, but I'm just like, man, to have that game on the successor, like if I know Nintendo's not getting Delta, I'm fine with that. But if they could get Twin Snakes as a remake or just a remaster on the successor, that would be huge. That would be a game most people probably would be like, yeah, I'm going to give this one a try. It like, what else could they say? Because that's the only one that hasn't been touched or really talked about when it comes to the Metal Gear Solid series. But that would be something I would really think Nintendo should be talking to Konami about in the future.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe Konami seems to just kind of not care. And that sucks because they should just They should just make a deal with somebody to license their IP out at this point, because it's frustrating. I mean, when was the last the last Castlevania thing we got was Lords of Shadow, right? That was the last Castlevania thing we got, like new Castlevania thing. I mean, there's been 3 cartoons, Castlevania cartoons on Netflix by now, and there should have been a new game or a remake of the original games or something.
And literally the thing about it is that I think because of Mercury system doing that last Castlevania game, Steam. Mercury Steam doing that last Castlevania, that hurt the series and that hurt Mercury Steam until Mercury Steam did Samus Return and Metroid Dread. That's when Mercury Steam got back to being, liked and like and and I can't think of the word, but they became the developers for a 2D Metroid, and so now Castlevania is like literally left in the dust because I don't think they have anyone who's interested of doing it.
Well, Mercury Steam, like they made the Castlevania game that was bad, right? I mean, they made the Lords of Shadow,
and that's what I said.
Whatever, right? Like,
and that's what I said. It's just like that game hurt both Konami and hurt Mercury Steam until Mercury Steam did Metroid Samus Returns. They got their reputation back, but who in their, not I won't say right mind, but who at Konami are they going to trust making a Castlevania game? That's the thing. I think that's the thing with Konami. It's just like who do we trust to make it the next one? Especially if Iga is not touching it because of Bloodstain doing it, making, and I think Bloodstain 2 that he's working on. Like, the only people that I could think of is going to be WayForward. Konami trusts WayForward enough, and regardless of what you think about Contra Operation, like the last game that they did, WayForward has enough experience of making a Metroidvania game because of Shantae. So they would be the only ones that Konami will literally trust to make a Castlevania game. Other than that, who are they going to go to?
Right. Good times. All right, so for the rest of the year, Ed, we have NES World Championships, NES Edition in July. There are a few third-party games coming out in August for Switch, but September we're getting Echoes of Wisdom, this new Zelda game, which looks awesome.
Yes.
Also, that week alone, we're getting Epic Mickey Rebrushed, Reynatus, which is that Astral Chain meets Persona style looking game.
Yes.
And there's something releasing the day before on Switch, but I forget what it is. But there's 4 games releasing within 4 days of each other. So that sucks. But because I want 3 of those 4 games, I got to figure out what the other game is. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, and we don't know when the Marvel vs. Capcom All-Stars is coming out. We just know that it's this year. I think they said holiday 2024 or just coming 2024.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure actually.
Which is, I will say, everybody, it may be on Game Informer. I definitely know it's on Nintendo Live. But the game development team at Marvel, they talked about how big of a surprise it was. They were so happy to have that game announced with Capcom. Like they worked with Capcom to get the licensing, and like neither of them couldn't say anything until it came out. And so at like 2 weeks, I think it's been 2 weeks since the direct, and that game being announced, like someone at Marvel is now talking about it. I think the head person of it, and we're just like, we're so happy and so surprised and excited that we got to say that this game came out. So that's the bit in the works. But Marvel Capcom has to definitely be quiet about it. And to be like, okay, we need to get this in the Nintendo Direct. Capcom and Marvel was smart to do it. To be like, get this in the Nintendo Direct. Let's work with Nintendo to get this mug out and get the announcement, because they knew that it was going to be a big deal, and they just didn't want to roll it out just showing it as a trailer or anything, because they knew that the impact wouldn't be as big as it was than it being in the Nintendo Direct. So shout out to Marvel for being smart on rolling that out, because that game, I know it's coming out to Steam PS4. I know people are definitely gonna be like, you need to get this game.
Yeah, I already pre-ordered it on Amazon.
I got my Best Buy pre-order for the physical for Switch.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. I'm excited for that. I really am excited for that. I'm excited for X-Men vs Street Fighter specifically, but that's just me. All right, Ed, listen to this lineup in September. That week Zelda comes out.
I'm prepared.
And this is just for Switch, okay? Harry Potter Quidditch Champions on the 23rd. Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed on the 24th, which I'm very excited for. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop was the other game I was thinking about on the 25th.
I need to get that too. Earth
Defense Force World Brothers 2 on Switch on the 26th. Zelda on the 26th. And Reinatus on the 27th.
That's a stack week. Definitely echoes. I definitely echoes in Mickey Mouse like Rebrush. I gotta have like that is no choice.
Yeah, Zelda Epic Mickey. I still have my collector's edition Mickey Mouse sitting back there on the shelf.
I'm just so jealous that you have it and everything.
Well, I used to have the paintbrush, the nunchuck paintbrush that came with it, and I mean that's another story for a different day. But yeah, that was cool too, because you could use the paintbrush as the nunchuck. Mm-hmm. It wasn't very good. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was not one of those not an accessory you really needed to use. So I'll leave it at that.
It was cool to have.
Yeah, it was cool to have, for sure. It was cool to have. So there's that. October we have Super Mario Party Jamboree. And November we have Mario and Luigi Brothership. And I'm totally expecting more Nintendo titles to show up somewhere, especially because there's definitely going to be some sort of another direct in this fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Brothership and then Dragon Quest 3 2D HD like the following week. I gotta have both games.
Yeah, and don't forget Fantasian is coming. Right? Like Fantasian is coming. And
Sakaguchi, what are you
I mean, I showed you that story that they're supposedly making a sequel that's aimed at consoles.
Yeah.
Did I show you that tweet?
Yeah. But there's that article that Sakaguchi's not interested in going back to like Final Fantasy, some of his old games. So like the last story, it's just like, but the last story, and Lost Odyssey, just like,
but Nintendo, why? But like those publishers can publish those games without his consent because they own the IP and they own the games, right? Like. The last story could be published by who brought it over, NIS or Exceed? Exceed, right? Brought those games over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they could totally publish those games over here in an HD, like have a team remaster those and put them on Switch, right? Like, Microsoft could HDify Lost Odyssey and port it over to Switch or something, right? Like, that's not the problem. If he likes Fantasian, I would rather him work on a console dedicated version of Fantasian's sequel than go back to these old games. Although I would like a Lost Odyssey sequel because they totally left that game on a cliffhanger and it still bothers me. Oh, what happened? What's in the portal? We're never going to find out. Sorry, I just spoiled Lost Odyssey for those of you who've never played it, but
still play the game to find out why that happens. I'm gonna leave it at that because Microsoft, if they are ever in need of video game coins, Nintendo is going to be their arcade machine. If they put that on, trust me, a lot of people are going to be talking about Lost Odyssey. I mean, Microsoft gonna be like, yeah, we got it for $40 or whatever on Nintendo, but you could get it on Game Pass for $50 a month, or you could, buy this version, and they're gonna be like, nah, we're gonna get it for Switch, so here's $40. Move on. Right. Take these coins and move on.
Right. So, Let's see, where are we at here? So that's
2025.
2024. 2025, we
Yes.
have 3 first-party games confirmed already. With Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which I'm really excited for. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4, and then I think a lot of people have forgot that there's another Pokemon Legends game coming out.
I mean, we know about it, but the Pokemon company's just been quiet about it. There's no Pokemon. Everybody was expecting a Pokemon Direct after this Nintendo Direct, but they've been just like quiet for right now. So, and plus Game Freak is working on their game. I don't know when that one is going to be released, so it's kind of like um waiting to see what happens after Game Freak releases their game, and if the Pokemon company is going to work with them, or they probably are working with them for this next game. So,
Right.
That's the only reason why ZA hasn't really been talked about much, is because of Game Freak doing their own game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's where we're at, Ed. We covered 8.5 years, 9 years in 2 hours.
Yes.
We still have questions and expansion paths to do. Neat.
Yes.
So that's
great.
I mean, just to kind of wrap it up. I mean, the Switch is very clearly Nintendo's best console ever, right? At this point.
Yes.
In terms of like the output, not even including the NSO stuff, right? Just in terms of first party output alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is probably their best console ever, right? Like
it's I if you even if you just look at their even if you just look at the Metacritic scores, they range from, I think, what maybe everybody wants to switch, or wants to switch is their lowest, like, and that's like in the 60s. They range from 60 to 90, and most of their games are in the 80s or 90s, some in the 70s, but a lot of their games, even their ports, are in the 80s or 90s. So that's why I said this is a strong first party lineup of games, and you cannot deny the quality and the stuff that people are talking about. Like, people are going back to even their older games and playing them and finishing, or picking them up on a sale, or looking for the physicals. Like, people are invested with these games. Nintendo really put out a top tier list of games and products. So
yeah.
I'm like, this is very impressive, and it's just, and a lot of games hold so many memories on when they released and how the community reacted to them when they came out.
Yeah. Man, what a console. I'm really looking forward to the next console, right? But I'm going to be really, like, this console is just so memorable in so many different ways. I'm going to be sad when this generation is over for Nintendo. Although I still think the next console is just going to be an iterative thing, and all of these games are going to be playable, and it's going to be the exact same thing, and we have nothing to worry about. So, all right, Ed, it's time for Pack Watch.
Yes, Pack Watch.
We got two games coming out this week. These are the games you can expect to see on Nintendo Switch this week. We have Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown coming on July 11th. Putting gamers in the cockpit of the most advanced warplanes ever developed, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown delivers a fierce air combat experience through photorealistic visuals, intense dogfighting action, a multitude of authentic futuristic aircraft to fly, an immersive storyline, and even virtual reality, but not on Switch. I guess you could in Switch, because the Labo kit, there was a VR Labo kit, right? So technically, I guess you could. The other game coming out is called Dross or Dross. This game looks really interesting, Ed. Dross is a dark fantasy adventure where you swap between a small gooey creature and her human bounty hunter shell. Explore freely through 40 unique diorama-like levels filled with strange characters, intricate puzzles, hidden rooms, and ancient collectibles. This game looks like a mix. Remember that game Hob that came out?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of a mix of Hob and Death's Door a little bit.
Ooh, interesting.
I watched the trailer. It definitely does not have the same type of feel as Death's Door, but it kind of has that perspective and that kind of color palette, I would say. And it really reminds me of Hob a lot too, in terms of aesthetic.
Now you mentioned that Death's Door, man, I wish that game got a sequel. It's so good.
I know. I wonder what Acid Nerve is working on. I would love a sequel. I think about Death's Door very often, to the point where like I thought about replaying it at some point. I love that.
After we stopped, we were talking about it last year. Because I also had it on Xbox. I was just like, I'm about to run through this game on Xbox. Still good. Still top tier of a great game.
Very, very good.
It's still funny.
Yeah. All right, Ed. It's time for question block.
Question block.
Yeah. If you want to write into the show, you can join the Boss Rush Network Discord or look for the question thread on our free Patreon tier. Leave them in those threads. You can also email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com or look for our Twitter thread. So all these questions and comments came from Discord. We're gonna
and I have one question from Twitter.
Shocker. Not in the doc. Shocker. So yeah, we're gonna kind of move through these at a brisk pace. We do appreciate everybody writing in. This is obviously 400 episodes is a big milestone, and appreciate everybody who wrote in and mentioned it. And yeah. Our first question comes from Safi via Discord of Lore Together. Check them out. Very fun duo on YouTube and podcast services.
So awesome.
How much did the Switch help your sanity during the lockdown? Well, Ed, I think you and I were in two very specific situations where we did not get to experience lockdown.
Yes. For me, everybody, during lockdown, I had to go to work. Where I worked at did require us getting a mask and setting up barriers and stuff. I would say it's a certain drugstore, and I had to work with a lot of customers and everything. So I still had to go to work and do it like it was a regular day, but I had to be protected. As for my Switch, I was still able to go to stores and get the physical. Curbside became a big thing. So at this time, though, this is when I was doing a lot of my shopping at Target for getting games for Nintendo Switch. But like it was just like a normal thing for me during the pandemic with my Switch. I was playing a lot of games and enjoying them. Even though there was places I couldn't go or anything, or like if I feel like I want to have an arcade experience, I was playing my arcade experience on Switch, and I was having a really great time. So it helped me through the pandemic like it would just do at any other time. If I wanted to play a game and enjoy it, I would play it on Switch. For it, the pandemic did help me get a lot of my backlog stuff done, and everything. So yeah, that was me during the pandemic with my Switch and stuff. So I didn't really get to have a lockdown experience because I actually had to physically go to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I was working at that car dealership at the time, and yeah, we had to go to work. It was not an exciting time because let's just say that a lot of people thought that wearing masks was dumb and protecting yourself was dumb, and that everything was not everything was fine.
Which it was opposite for me. People were yelling at me for touching their stuff without having gloves on my hand. And I'm just like, we touched all of this stuff off the truck with no gloves on. So
it's also a airborne disease, not a touchy-feely disease. So,
Right. Like, so, I mean, people didn't understand it was a time that people was fear of dying and stuff.
yeah.
Because for some people, they just thought it was a hoax and everything until people start seeing news stories about people ending up in a hospital and dying in a hospital because of this disease. And so we didn't have any information. So people panicked, got frustrated, and definitely was just yelling. For me personally, people were just yelling at me because of the stuff that was going on. People were just fearful for their lives, and they were trying to buy up everything because they knew they was going to be on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then realized that what everything was all about. And even when the pandemic was over, people tried to return stuff and they couldn't because of store policy. But a lot of people took out their anger and frustration because they were fearful and stuff of dying and everything. So,
yeah, it's yeah, what a crazy time. I still can't believe we like went through all of that, and like it doesn't even feel like it happened for me. Right? I mean, for both of us, really, because we both still went to work and lived a normal life, and well, normal, quote unquote, but like nothing really changed for us except that we had to wear masks sometimes.
And we had to tell people they couldn't enter our store without having a mask because they didn't realize how many elderly people were also coming into our stores, and we didn't want to risk them getting sick and catching it and dying and stuff, because there were people at our store who employees who caught COVID because of people not following the rules and stuff.
Yeah. All right, our next question comes from Still Sane Shane via Discord. Shane Kelly. He wrote a Boss Rush banter about theories on where the characters fall or go when they fall into the portals in Echoes of Wisdom. What do you think, Ed? Where do you think they go?
I feel like they go to like a dark world of Hyrule, or again, it's like Castle or something. Like they just get transported to another place. That they're
your
held
Link
in
is
captivity.
in another castle.
Yeah, like physically and everything. So,
yeah. I mean, for me, I think it's very clearly a dark world. I think that's the big secret here, is that there's actually another alternate world that's maybe flipped upside down or whatever, right? I think this is totally a Link to the Past, Twilight Princess, Ocarina, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah, because this is Ganon little staff thing that's creating this, so it's something that Ganon knows, or Ganon, I think, because this is the pig form of him. So I'm like, it's something magical in everything.
Yeah. Placed Austin via Discord. Austin Campbell, our friend Austin Campbell. We need to get him on the show too.
Yes, I miss you, Austin. Love you.
I missed having Austin on the show, and I think about it sometimes when I'm editing. I'm like, man, we should have Austin on the show, and then I just like, I mean, you know how it goes when like you're like, oh, we should have this person on, and then like, just get busy and not think about, like Andre's another one, and yeah, there's just so many people we should probably have on the show, and we just haven't.
Yeah, I miss talking to Austin and his voice and seeing him. I miss him.
He asks, what would a standalone Waluigi game look like? What art style, mechanics, genre of game would it be?
Okay, so I think it would be definitely a 2D platformer with it. I think the art style might be like 3D, kind of like Mario 3D World in that sense. The mechanics, I won't say it's like Wario Shake It. Like I was thinking of like a treasure game in a sense, but I'm like, if it's going to be a platformer, I think it'll be like kind of like a puzzle engineer kind of platforming game, like Wario setting up traps for Mario or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you gotta. I'm not gonna say Donkey Kong 64 ish, but like some kind of thing where Wario is setting up traps and everything and solving puzzles in order to get like I think he would get like more of Luigi. I think it would be a game on getting Luigi instead of getting Mario. And what happens is it ends up being like a Wile Coyote kind of thing, where uh these traps, you're about to get Luigi, but like let's just say on a time thing you didn't get it right, so it didn't capture the trap didn't work well for Luigi. But if you stepped in, the trap works and it's a game over for you or something like that. I know that's not an action platformer, but I'm just thinking something like that. That it would be something like funny like that with Waluigi, or take that mechanic and do an online game where you got to set your traps for all of these other players, and if you get it right and they can't solve the trap right, they get caught and stuff, and you win the game, and it's game over for them or something.
Yeah. Man, I was just thinking of like the most ridiculous art style ever, but then I remember they made a Kirby game like this, so maybe not. I was thinking like a claymation stop motion style game. Like this, maybe. I mean, I still think 2D platformer is like the way to go, but with like some weird twist. Like maybe he finds a lot of Mario's old stuff, or like maybe he uses like the barrel breaking hammer from Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
or
Ooh,
a
that'd
tennis,
be
or
interesting.
like a tennis racket, because that was the first game Waluigi appeared in, right? It was like
Yeah.
like just using all these random items to fight with or use his powers, or like maybe because he's like the opposite Luigi, like if he touches like a fire flower, it does something totally different, like maybe he gets different abilities based on the different things. I don't know. I would really like a 2D, like I actually really like the art style of Wario Land Shake It.
I'm thinking of the art style also, like with Elite Beat Agents and
Oh
similar,
god, yeah.
and the Sushi game. Um,
Yeah.
with that kind of art style, I don't know if it was Alpha Dream. I don't know where that art style came from. But it's that color book, bold line, black line design kind of art style.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rhythm Heaven even also have it, but it's that kind of art style, that kind of cartooning. I could see like Waluigi and that, and they do it like comic book panel kind of look for some
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Yeah, they could definitely do that. So, our next comment is from GeekBro27 via
I
Discord. Jack,
miss you, Jack,
I know,
so
Jack.
much. Oh, I miss him so much.
He
I'm
says no
sorry.
question. He says no question comes to mind, but I wanted to congratulate, congrats to Eddie V and anyone that has been on the pleasure of being on the show. So,
Jack, we have to hook up if you come back to Chicago again. I miss you so much.
yeah, I would like to have Jack on the show at some point
Yes.
in the near future, because I think that would benefit. I think that would be fun. I just think it would be really fun.
Yeah, I just miss talking to him, and like he was, like I said, truly amazing when I met him, and just like it felt like we'd known each other for years and everything. He is just an amazing person. Shout out to you, Jack, bro. Love you, man.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Shout out to Jack. Jack is great. So, let's see here. Mary Helen writes in. She has a lot to say. So, Cordy, I saw your comment. We're saving it for expansion pass because it ties into expansion pass.
Yes.
Mary Helen writes in, for me, one of the biggest contributions the Switch era brought was bringing the mainline Pokemon games to the television screen. I remember putting Sword on my TV for the first time, and I actually got a bit emotional at the idea of playing on my TV. In addition, Pokemon Legends Arceus revolutionized the franchise in ways that I hoped we'd see more of. ZA has big shoes to fill as a successor to one of my favorite Pokemon games in a long time. The open world, the changes to the decks, the way the world was mapped out, and the change of standard format had me engrossed for days. Best sick weekend ever. While I played a lot of games on the Switch and had a lot of fun with it, back when I got it, it was to play Pokemon. I've fallen in love with other franchises thanks to the console, but I'd be remiss not to admit that as we look back on the legacy of the console, she wants to know our opinions on the Boss Rush banter on if Nintendo delayed games because of the flop of the Wii U. Yes, they did. We kind of talked about it earlier, but it was pretty much confirmed that Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 were kind of the main two that were delayed.
Mm-hmm.
If not confirmed by Nintendo, they were delayed by, kind of confirmed by Eurogamer, I think was the one that.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was the same thing. It got delayed so they could do a Switch version along with the Wii U version. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there were others, but I think those were the main two for sure. What is your favorite game of the Switch from the Switch era? What is one game you wish you could have gotten?
Favorite game from the Switch era for me is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the one game I wish we have gotten, I keep saying this, is Eternal Darkness. I really wish that came to Switch.
Let's see. My favorite game of the Switch era. There's so many great ones. I mean, it's still Breath of the Wild for me.
Mm-hmm.
Link's Awakening was also an amazing get. Death's Door we talked about a lot. I mean, those would be the three initial. Those are like the three initial thoughts for me.
Pikmin 4 for me, and definitely Tears. Like I love Breath, but man, Tears is so big of a world, and it still feels like it's its own game. For me, I mean, there's just a lot to choose from. Houses, Hopes, Age of Calamity. There's so much, but like man, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for me. Sorry, Corey, go ahead. There's just so many games.
There's just so many. Sorry, I'm moving some stuff around because I think I want to save
Xenoblade Chronicles X. I really wish that came. And still there's a chance, but man, some quality of life things for Xenoblade Chronicles X if that happened, because man, that game it still boggles on my mind on how that game is running on Wii U, and it looks beautiful while running it. No joke, is that game still good?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of three reasons my Wii U is still hooked up, right? I mean, in case I ever want to try to play. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything I wish I really would have gotten. I mean, sure, there are games that clearly wouldn't run on the Switch, right? Like, Destiny would be a game that I would love to have in some sort of handheld capacity. But obviously that's not going to run on the Switch, mostly because of the online functionality.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I wish we would have gotten. I wish
Twilight Princess and Wind Waker for you.
Yeah, I mean those would be the ones, right? Especially Twilight Princess. Wind Waker, like I really like Wind Waker a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I want Wind Waker on the Switch so people can finally play it instead of claiming that they've played it, right? Like
Right.
it being stuck on the 2 consoles that nobody bought really sucks. But Twilight Princess for me is I mean Twilight Princess is like my favorite game of all time in a lot of, I mean I still think I would put Breath of the Wild at number 1 if we were ranking them, but like Twilight
Yeah.
Princess is my favorite game of all time. And
You got some of my
anything
favorite dungeons.
yeah. Yeah, and like it being my favorite game of all time though has a lot more than it just being a great Zelda game, right? It's personal ties to that game really um are what make that game special for me. But at the end of the day, like that game is just so it has the best Zelda 3D Zelda dungeons in my opinion. Still to this day, still has the best ones in my opinion. Um, although the water temple slide temple can go away, but other than that, it's I love Twilight Princess. I love Midna. I love the whole story revolving around the Twilight Realm and Zant and fighting fighting Twilight Ganondorf in the
Mm-hmm.
castle after you fight Puppet Zelda, right? Like in the pig form, the beast form, which is so cool to see in that universe. And the fact that you can beat Ganondorf or Ganon at the end with the fishing rod. It's so funny. that bug, right?
Yes.
The fishing rod where you pull the fishing rod out and he just like stares at the fishing rod because you threw it out at him, and like then you just go up and attack him because he's distracted by the fishing rod. So funny. It's funny. I think they fixed it in the HD version, but that definitely worked in the GameCube and the Wii version.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess Twilight Princess would be the one for me. I mean, there are other games too, like that were rumored for a while that I wish we would have gotten, like the Xenoblade or the Xenosaga trilogy from PS2 was
Yeah.
rumored for a long time. Obviously Xenogears, the PS1 game, would be an interesting get, although Sony and Square kind of co-published that, so that would be up to them to port it other places. But the fact that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 ties so almost directly into Xenogears is kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. Yeah, I can't really. The Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, I think, deserves a home on the Switch. I mean, we have all the other ones.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants, this trilogy.
I think that's coming at some point. There's an anniversary for that first game coming up soon. I would guess that would be coming soon.
Yeah.
But that's kind of Kingdom Hearts would be the one actually too. That
Physical Kingdom Hearts.
The non-cloud version of Kingdom Hearts, please. That would be the ideal. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, would be like a number 2 or 3 on my list. Oh my gosh, dude, they're PS2 games. Why aren't they on a cartridge? Like, The Witcher is running. You can get Kingdom Hearts to run. Put some elbow grease into it.
Right. Most of them having the whole Kingdom Hearts series is on Nintendo, so that should be easy to do.
Half, I would say 2/3. I mean, what are the games that?
The PSP one and
it's the ones that aren't on a Nintendo console are essentially the mainline ones. So Birth by Sleep, which is essentially Kingdom Hearts 0, 1, 2, 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and 3 are the games that are not on Nintendo consoles.
The PSP one, Birth by Sleep. There's some mobile game, but I don't think that's part of it.
Those don't count. I mean, they count in canon, but they don't count.
But and plus that's not on the collection.
So Chain of Memories is on Game Boy Advance. You have 358 over 2 days. which is on DS. You have Recoded, which is on DS. You have Dream Drop Distance, which is on 3DS.
Yes, yeah.
Is that it? There's another handheld game, right?
I think there's only, how many was that? 3?
4.
3 or 4? Yeah.
There's another Kingdom Hearts game on. Hold on.
I know there was a musical one that came to Switch, but
yeah, that's but that's on everything.
Not like, yeah.
Let's see here. We have okay. How to play the Kingdom Hearts games in order. I don't care about that. You play them in release order. That's the.
But yeah, the 4 games on PlayStation are the ones that, of course, didn't come, like Birth by Sleep. Like that one is the first of everything, but that was put on PSP after these side games was on Nintendo platforms, handhelds, I should say. So,
yeah, there's Kingdom Hearts 0.2, a fragmentary passage, which was part of the 2.8 final chapter prologue. Let's see. What was the other? Let's see. 358 over 2 days. Recoded. Dream Drop Distance. 3 Melody of Memory. Yeah, I guess that's all the. I guess there are. So it's about split down the middle, I guess. And then you have the mobile games, which are like, gross. You have, let's see, the mobile games. If you're interested, you can get them on Android. They're not on iOS. You have Kingdom Hearts Key Unchained. You have Kingdom Hearts Key, Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and Kingdom Hearts Union Key, which are all the mobile games. And then you have Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, which is another mobile RPG. It's the origin story of Xehanort, set 70 years before the events of Birth by Sleep. Xehanort, for those who don't know, is kind of the main villain of Kingdom Hearts. So yeah. And then that seems to be it. The mobile games are prequels, it looks like. And then Melody of Memory is I
think that's that music game.
It is, but it actually has a story to it. It takes place after 3, but it's a memory kind of, I don't know. It's strange. Whatever. But yeah, I would play them in release order, to be honest with you. But that's just me. It should be Kingdom Hearts, then Chain of Memories, then 2, then 358 over 2 days, then Birth by Sleep, then Recoded, then Dream Drop Distance, and then 2.8 final chapter prologue, and then 3, and then whatever the DLC for 3 is. So yeah.
Well, Corey, Galatrad asks, y'all have had a lot of awesome hosts and guests on the show. I know it's hard to pick a favorite, but if you had to choose, who would be your favorite guest?
Wouldn't it be Galatrad? Wouldn't that be? Congratulations on launching your Pokemon podcast, though, by the way.
Yes. You and Becca. Congrats.
Another Pokemon podcast is what it's called. Another Pokemon podcast. Very excited for both of you. That's exciting.
Yes.
I miss Galatrad a lot.
I do too.
We have had a lot of great guests. Obviously, like Galatrad is a major contributor to this show, a couple years ago.
Celeste, I miss her. Like Celeste would be mine.
Grayson, Roger,
Jack,
there's so many.
Dan, David.
There's so many. I mean, there's been so many people on the show at one point or another. Like, obviously,
Todd, Aksha,
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. There's been so many.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole list right now, but I mean, everybody that has contributed to the show has kind of obviously made it what it is. And I wish there are people still on the show or part of the show or were on more frequently. But at the end of the day, like, people have lives and people need to do what they need to do. Right. And I miss people, and, you know, hopefully we'll get people kind of at least guesting on the show.
Yeah. Shout out to Shay, Stephanie, and Laron for coming on, helping. Yeah.
So that's it. Mary Helen, I'm saving your other thing for your other comment / question for expansion pass as well.
Great.
Ed, get us out of here. Get us into the expansion pass.
Well, thanks for listening and or watching Nintendo Pow Block, which is part of the Boss Rush Network. If you enjoyed our discussions, please do subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast application. You can support us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Any tier grants you early access to all of our podcasts. Follow us on social media platforms at Boss Rush Network. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Woo-hoo! 400! Bye, everybody.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.